Hello everyone and welcome back to the Deep Blue. Let me double check everything before I go in and commit. We should be okay. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Deep Blue. I am Noira, the sea fox on Innocence, who serves live talks on the rocks. And it's perfect right now. I'm actually having whiskey. A bad thing happened though. Apparently I didn't close my whiskey well when I last poured it, which was a while back. I didn't put the lid on well, so I feel like my whiskey tastes a little bit different, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll still have a good time. Thankfully, it doesn't taste too bad, so I'm okay with it. But I think I just fucking squandered half a bottle of whiskey. It tastes a little different, like something is off. But it's fine. Summer vibes. Yeah, sure. Our sort of vibes are like afternoon sort of vibes, I guess. Yeah, I figured, why not? We've never used this scene for free talk or Zatsu, I feel like. So I thought, why not? Hello everyone, by the way. How are you guys doing? It is towards the end of the week, and I hope this week has been kind to every single one of you. This week has been quite crazy for me, myself, but thank you everyone for waiting outside the Deep Blue and queuing up before the doors actually open up. Now let me actually greet y'all. Who's here? I see Clarence and Magic Attacks and AOL like Cheese and Sven on YouTube side. However, when it comes to the first, I see Kyle is the first. Salt. Ikazen, you are too early. What the hell? Kyle is actually the first. Huh? No, wait. No, Kyle is the first. At least that's how it says here. That's what it says here. To be fair, all of y'all actually chatted at the same time. So because of this, let me see. Let's consider Ikazen, Zolti, Seribot, and Kyle all chatted at the same time. And at the very top is Ikazen. So you know what? I'm gonna say that Ikazen went first. So congrats, Ikazen. You have reclaimed the throne. You guys are fucking crazy. What the hell? We have like 1, 2, 3 firsts today. Damn. That's so mad. And I see Ace on YouTube side. What's up? And congrats, Zolti, Ikazen, and Kyle. Damn, y'alls. And I see Mythos being the second, Zoe being the third, Slime being the fourth, and Wapper being the fifth. Welcome back, you 5. And after that, we see a few more people coming in, and that is Honey Bella. And I also see It's Celise. I haven't been able to catch the streams because I'm at work, and that's totally understandable. Thank you. Thank you for watching my stuff even when you can't watch streams. That means so much to me. I always say this. I know my streaming times are horrid. So I truly appreciate every single one of y'all who actually watch my videos and stuff. I think that means so much. And I see Ninja Monkey is here too. Hi, Ninja. And what else do I see here? Ivan is here. And AI Like Cheese is here, of course. And Monsoon Boy, dusk or dawn for you? For me, right now, let's just say it's afternoon. Is it dusk or dawn for me right now? It is late at night. I see... Who else do I see here? Fahan is here as well. And Dakotics and John. Maido One-san. What do you mean, Maido One-san? Maido One-san, are you calling me a maid? Irashaimase. Deep Blue ni yokoso. Welcome back to the Deep Blue. Everyone, it's good to see so many familiar faces and familiar names. So tell me, y'alls, how were your days? How was your day? And what are you expecting towards the end of the week? Anything cool happening, or did anything cool happen? Got any plans for the end of the week? Morning to you, or night, or midday. In any case, greeting fellow kids. Well, yes. Good day to every single one of you guys. I am currently drinking whiskey, but you guys, please drink coffee, tea, or like milk, whatever it is you guys have at the time of your day. Don't just do day drinking if you have work to do. I know that alcohol can kind of spare creativity and all that, but it is wise to not do so at work hours. I would know. I used to do that. I used to drink during work hours. But then after a while, the novelty wore off, and I was like, sure, it makes me more creative, but it also kind of fucks me over. So I stopped doing it. Now, Clarence, thank you for being 6 months a titling. That's half a year, and I hope you have enjoyed it here at the Deep Blue. The maid outfit would be bomb though. Well, you gotta pray, fingers crossed, that after 2.0 we can get different kinds of outfits, right? Outfits. I went to Indo Defense 2 days ago. Nothing awesome, but nothing so awesome such as tanks. Have I ever seen a tank face to face? Yes, I have. Do I have any particular interest in it? No, not really. Like, maybe, I don't know. I just don't have any particular interest in weaponry in general, except if you talk about melee light weapons. For some reason, that's where my interest in weapons and such things end. I really like my melee light weapons, guys, and I still think that using your fists is the best thing ever. That's why I like Muay Thai and boxing and stuff like that. No special plans, hoping for a productive work day. That's good. We don't always have to have special plans, but it's nice to kind of have a sort of, idea of what you're going to be doing for the day. So I think the fact that you kind of have an idea of, okay, I want it to be a productive work day, that's good enough already, isn't it? I've been co-oping Darksiders Genesis with my brother right now. Fun hack and slash puzzle game. Oh, that's cute. Co-oping with family is the best thing ever, isn't it? Chickened out asking a cute cashier yesterday, but we'll do card games later. Hey, if you try returning to that place again, same time next week, you'll get a second chance. You know, usually the shifts are always the same weekly, right? So if you chicken out today and you realize it and you kind of regret it, take destiny by the balls and try again. Give it another shot, Salty. I'm at Airbnb with friends, gonna be drinking. Oh, what are you guys drinking? Are you guys just gonna get wasted? Is that what's happening? Are you guys gonna play King's Cup and shit? I just had my coffee tonight. Wow, why do you have coffee late at night? 我的父话是算是 something something I can't read. Done. I can't read the other words. But thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Welcome. My Mandarin is very limited, so I can only read so much. I don't even know if I got that right. I do know that one of them is the tofu pudding thing. I think 复活, right? Wait, let me... Is it even 复活? Is it dong? I don't know. I don't know my Mandarin. I feel like I read tofu wrong. I can't remember what the word for tofu is in Mandarin. I have Swedish Christmas juice. What is a Swedish Christmas juice? Yeah, boxing and Muay Thai is fun stuff, innit? A bit groggy, just woke up like 30 minutes again, when I should have been up like an hour ago, trying to reorient myself. Make sure you've hydrated, stretch a tad bit, and ground yourself, ninja. We always, all of us have those days every once in a while, right? When we get Noira anime at first, Noira will be attacking with katana, and then when enemy is still standing, she is like, game's over. Throws katana, they block, and next scene is Noira throwing mad punches. That does sound like something I would love to do. Except to make it 2 katanas. I really like dual wielding. But yes, that sounds pretty accurate. Yes, I can read a little bit of Mandarin. It's been a while. I was in Shanghai for a tad while, and I practiced my Mandarin drunk. So yes, I do know a little bit of Mandarin. My Mandarin is usually the most fluent the more alcohol that I drink. Like, you know how there's a drunken fist style of fighting? Yeah, that's me. My drunk Mandarin is really good, guys. I literally practiced Mandarin due to just me partying a lot and like having to manage the partying. I had to interact a lot in Mandarin. That's how I learned my Mandarin. Your native language is Mandarin. Well, I hope I did not butcher it then. I hope I read that right. I might have been wrong. I haven't used Mandarin in a while. I tried to learn Mandarin, gave up in a single day. Never again. I mean, Mandarin is tough. Mandarin is really hard. Do something like 你明白中文. Yes, I just a little bit. I can read a little bit. Doesn't mean I'm good at it. But I feel like if people are speaking, like if it's speaking, I can still do it. And like if I hear people speaking, I could still understand it. But reading is like the hardest part of Mandarin, dude. Drunk Mandarin with drunken fist would go hard. Yeah, that's a build in it. Dual wielding is just really cool to look at in general. The fighting choreography is stunning when done right. Right? It's fancy and it looks fun. I have a friend who's like that with smoking. More he smokes, the more powerful he becomes. That's hilarious. Well, yeah, that's kind of me. Like back then at least, whenever I drank, I would always smoke. Like I would smoke up to like a whole pack of ciggies in one night. Please do not replicate it. It was a bad habit. But back then when I did drink a lot and I smoked a lot and partied a lot, I would smoke a pack of ciggies a day per night. That life is over. This sea fox has had enough of that sort of lifestyle. Now I only smoke virtually. I still drink, but not that much. Thank you for the Ara redeem. Why did I say thank you? What the fuck? Hold on. Happy. Are you the kind of work hard, play harder kind of girl? I was. I was. Until I wasn't. I was though. Yes, I was. I used to work hard and play hard. I used to work hard and then party and drink. But then sometimes I would also just play hard and not come to class, but then score decent anyway. I sound like a genius, don't I? Well, I have my ways. Thankfully, I'm the kind of person who catches onto stuff quite quickly, as long as it's not numbers. So usually with minimum, this is not a flex, but this is how I used to study when it came to like exams and everything. I would skim. As long as I got like the general gist of stuff, I could usually just get through things just fine. That's why I never like, but that's also like one of the reasons why I never really scored high on anything, because I feel like it's stupid. I always questioned the value of what is the point of memorizing things for an exam if later on after school, after uni and everything like that, you can just Google everything. Or like, why do I need to learn how to calculate shit if I have a calculator? That has always been my mentality, which I don't even think it's a particularly good thing, but that's how I have led my life, and that has resulted in very lazy, mediocre grades from my side. I've been playing Sifu in Mandarin. Kind of makes me want to learn Mandarin. Wait, you can play Sifu in Mandarin? I should try that. I can understand Malay and Mandarin, but not so fluent as Malaysian Chinese. Ah, yeah. Like Malaysian and Indonesian is kind of similar, but it's... I can't really... The accent really trips me off, I feel like, when I try listening into Malay. Yeah. Ninja, thank you for being 6 months. 6 months of titling on YouTube side. 6 months, half a year indeed. Thank you, Ninja, for being such a beacon in the community of titlings at the Deep Blue. I read very well, thank you. I try. When I went to New Zealand, I actually met like this. I was like talking with my Indonesian friend at the convenience, like convenience store, and randomly the cashier was like, "Oh, you guys speak Malay?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're from Indo, not particularly Malay, but like." And then we started talking, and he was like asking, "Oh, when I go to Indonesia, do you know like how?" Apparently he really wants to go to Yogyakarta or like Jogja. Which is an area, it's a city in Indonesia. And he was like asking, yeah, do you know like how I can kind of commute and go around and kind of like visit the Borobudur and stuff like that? This is randomly in New Zealand, guys. Then we randomly started talking about like this guy wanting to visit another country in Indonesia. The serendipity of meeting strangers in random places. I love it. It makes for good stories and nice core memories. Sorry, I'm still like catching up with chat. Smoking makes you more powerful. Okay, but in real life, don't smoke as much. I was just talking with a friend of mine as well. Because she's currently in that phase where she smokes whenever she drinks, right? I'm not anymore. Also, Trumpet, thank you for the gifted on YouTube side. And thank you for being 9 months of titling at the Deep Blue. Thank you. It seems like I just joined. It seems like just yesterday I joined. But it's been 9 whole months. 9 whole months, Trumpet. So thank you. Thank you for being at the Deep Blue for such long times. What was I saying? Yeah, I was like talking to my friend who's currently in that phase of she smokes every time she drinks. And I was like telling her, yeah, I used to do that too until like it kind of got to me where every time I smoked even 1 or 2 ciggies, I would end up like having very uncomfortable throat. My throat would get very uncomfortable for like 2 weeks straight, and I'd just start coughing up phlegm for 2 weeks straight, and then got a bit annoying. So I stopped because of that mostly. By the way, guys, cheers. And apparently it's not just a me thing. Apparently she experienced such similar things when it comes to ciggies. So yeah, no more smoking. I don't even like seek it anymore. Hold on, let me like skim chat because I am so far behind. Pretty sure Borobudu's on the other side of the island compared to Yogyakarta. Yeah, but you can kind of go there from there, right? Like they were like asking about how to commute via train and everything like that. Like I don't have the most expertise on it, so I couldn't say much about it, but my friend knew quite a lot about it, so she was mostly the one doing the talking. I'm like, yeah, I've been to like Jogja once and I barely remember anything about it. It's been a while. Glad that you stopped. You probably dodged a whole host of health problems later in life. Yeah, like, what was it? So I saw this quote, I don't remember from where, was it on Twitter or something? This guy said that just because you're healthy now in your youth, it doesn't mean that you're actually healthy. It's just that it hasn't caught up to you yet. There's like, basically you still have high resistance now that you're young, but once you get older, it's gonna stack up. That's apparently the perspective when it comes to health. And I think to a certain point, that's true. Especially when it comes to, say, an active lifestyle and being healthy and everything and what you eat. It stacks up. You're okay currently in your youth just because you still have high resistance and high HP. But, you know, it stacks up. It compiles. And suddenly the age, say, 30 hits and then you're like, oh, fuck. You know, that sort of thing. So it's not wrong. So you people, you youngins, all right? Word of wisdom, take care of your health. Do have an active lifestyle. Tell me, do our tidelings here at the Deep Blue have an active lifestyle? What's something that you guys what's something active you guys do regularly within the week? No judgy, because I used to have quite a sedentary lifestyle too, to be fair. I think I just made a Substack post about it. So I'm not gonna judge. And I understand if an active lifestyle isn't something that you're used to right now. I am actively pressing my keyboard. Good finger workout. Playing games. I usually do cult activities. Oh, really now? Cult activities, huh? Where? Definitely not the Deep Blue, right? Literally came back from the pool 2 hours ago. Swimming is like one of the best activities you could do for your body because it's good cardio and it's low impact. And it's just every physiotherapist would recommend swimming. It's good for your joints and your muscles in general. Does working in the heat for 10 plus hours a day count? It depends. What are you doing in the heat? I was working out at 6 a.m. on the dot. That's good to hear. I used to do a lot of rock wall climbing, but fell out of the habit because it's so hot now. Have you tried like bouldering, those indoor ones? I wanted to go bouldering like next week, but I had to cancel it because I need to do a membership stream with you guys. I legit wanted to book it for next week, but I just remembered, oh yeah, I haven't done a membership stream for this month. And I had to tell my friend, oh no, sorry, I had something on Saturday, so can we do it like the next Saturday instead? Christian, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. I usually go running or walking if I'm lazy, 4 or 5 kilometers, and sometimes gym or calisthenics workout. That's good. By that logic, shouldn't you be reckless in your youth so later on you can loop back? Yeah, but it stacks up. Like, for example, if you drink a lot in your youth, you'd be fine now. If you're lucky, you'd be fine even up till later. But sometimes it stacks up and then suddenly age of 30 hits and then you have gastrointestinal issues like me. My gastrointestinal issues suddenly hit me like a truck. I can see everything. And Mr. Cheese, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. I would say, sure, be reckless. Try stupid shit when you're young. YOLO the fuck out of it. But do it with the awareness of some permanence, some sense of permanence. Because when else are you going to be reckless, right? I also truly believe that a part of enjoying life is being reckless. But being wise is also understanding that being reckless has consequences and sometimes permanence in consequences. I'd like to do more. Now I go gym and swimming 2 days a week. That's still good. Oh, surfing sounds good. I've been wanting to take surfing lessons. That hasn't happened. Watching for my sleep, hydration, nutrition, main focus. Cycling at my job every day for 5 hours is crazy. Good to hear that titlings at the Deep Blue have an active lifestyle. That's good to hear. Overthink every night to train my mental endurance. Oh yes, a lot of mental calories, a lot of brain power. Of course, no cult activities at the Deep Blue. Why would you suspect such? Exactly. 0. We're not a cult, guys. Good morning, Imperial Gamer. No worries. Thanks for dropping by. Bouldering, what's that? So, bouldering is like indoor rock climbing, but how would I'm gonna just ask Google it. What is bouldering? I'm gonna get a Google definition of it. Bouldering is a form of rock climbing that focuses on short, challenging routes, often without ropes or harnesses. Yeah, so it's usually, you know how like wall climbing or rock climbing goes really high up? For bouldering, it's usually a little bit more, it's not as tall. It's more curved and a little bit more challenging. So it's like compacted and you don't have like safety gear or anything. You're just supposed to fall down or climb down. And underneath there's usually like foam to catch you. Kami, thank you for your offering towards the shrine. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the 2K chair. Truly, our in-house bartender Raptor is here. Thank you, Kami, for your offering towards the Deep Blue and your contribution and generosity towards the Deep Blue. How are you, Kami? We're just talking about what everyone does for their activeness in their day-to-day. Like what sort of active lifestyle they live. And it's okay if they don't. Started running again. Been going for a month now, 5K daily. That's good to hear. Bezzy, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. The thing is, like, when it comes to an active lifestyle, even just doing 15 to 20 minutes in a day does so much. It's like a 0 to 1 sort of thing. Maybe in your youth you guys might not know, but you guys will feel what I mean once you get older. You will realize that even just stretching for 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day, or like, you know, walking for like 15 or 20 on the treadmill, it does so much to your body. Suddenly every achy thing doesn't ache anymore. It's like when you're like a rusty kind of creaky sort of machine and then you get some oil up in there. Yeah, it's kind of like that. I used to be a national level swimmer and almost got selected for under 17 Commonwealth Games. UK, Aussie. And I had a shoulder dislocation, so I had to give up. Currently, however, I mod cars every other day, so that keeps my body moving. But do you still swim? Because I don't know much about this, but I'm assuming because swimming is kind of low intensity, I would assume that once you've recovered from an injury, it should be okay to just swim, right? Is it? I don't want it too much. Every time I go swim, I just want to sink to the bottom and look up. Wow, you like me that much? Sifa's pronunciation in Mandarin is Haixin. Written in Mandarin. Hi like the C. I don't know what Shen is. I don't know about the intonation. Hi. Yeah, okay, that's my best try at Mandarin. It's very fun, but I can't leave the house most days because I'd overheat in my car on the way. Damn, it's that hard? Used to work out but stopped years ago. Want to return, but life problems first. That's fair. However, I do bend deep and use the extent of my mobility as full as possible, so I'm still flexible with strong joints. That's good. That's good. Because I feel like even if you don't have like a regular active lifestyle, stretching can still do so much. The problem with deciding to go too crazy when you're young can make you develop bad habits that follow you into old age. True. But I would say it really depends on the person. Like, look at me, I'm okay. But yes, it can set a trajectory for like bad habits. Like, have you seen videos of people with very bad alcoholism? Like, they literally, their whole body will shake if they don't have a shot of vodka or something like that. It can get that bad. So, like I said, that's part of having wisdom, right? But like in your youth, you don't really listen to wisdom. So, and also, I'm not here to tell anyone off. I'm not your mom. So the most I can say is that you do your thing, you experiment whatever the fuck you want to experiment. Just be aware of the consequences. You're an adult. And also do understand that some consequences can have some modicum of permanence. So think about that if you're willing, if you're thinking of wanting to live longer. Everything in moderation, including moderation. To be fair, I used to have like a crazy lifestyle when I was younger. Like I told you guys, I used to drink like a lot and party a lot and smoke a lot. So I am currently recovering from all that. I think it's a certain part of it has caught up to me. That's the gastrointestinal issues. I'm glad I got that solved. And definitely like, I'm pretty sure a part of me got fucked over by it. Probably my liver. But thankfully I'm okay. I think because I stopped quite early, I was very into that whole drinking party lifestyle for like, I think 6, 7, 8 months straight or something like that. And then I just went cold turkey because, have I told you guys this story? I got like a 3-day hangover. That made me stop. So since then, I've kind of just been chill drinking most of the times rather than, going crazy. I still choose to go crazy every once in a while if there's like a nice event to do so. But really not as much as I used to. I enjoy going for multiple walks throughout the day. It feels so nice getting out of the house after working in front of the computer. Bouldering involves rock climbing without a harness. Yeah, walking is a really nice way to kind of just have a little zen moment. How are you, Vash? Sorry, I'm gonna skip over to like the current chat because I missed so much. I'm so sorry, guys. But I am very happy to hear that a lot of you guys actually have active lifestyles. I mean, I think I only recently started adopting an active lifestyle. So yeah. What did I do for those 3 days? Drink water, lie in bed, barely eat. Didn't go to class. Last time I went partying, I woke up in a different place than I started. And I don't know how I got there. Yeah, that's also relatable. 3-day hangover was traumatizing, dude. Have you ever felt very sluggish and kind of nauseous for 3 days straight, and then your stomach feels horrendous? Every time you eat, you feel like throwing up? That was me for 3 days. Now that I think about it, rather than a hangover, it was probably more so also because of my stomach was getting fucked over by all the alcohol. The worst thing about being a mom is that you will be called fat by some random kids you don't even know. But hey, you know what's the good thing about being more mature and wise? You don't fucking care. At least I've gotten to that point, or maybe I'm just an ancient wise sea fox. I've gotten to the point where I don't fucking care what people say. Like, I'm pretty confident with how I am as a person and what I do as a person that I just don't mind it. Like, if I see haters, if I see like comments or like some people saying stupid shit, I just ignore it or hide it or block it. I don't even respond to it. You don't know how old Noira is. I am old enough to know better, but young enough to still make interesting mistakes. Aging sea fox. Are you saying I'm eternally youthful? Is that what you're saying, Peter? Not a hangover, but I had a similar situation when I was suffering a liver abscess. But instead of days, it was several weeks. That sounds horrible. A liver abscess? That sounds so dangerous. Are you okay now? Like, because that happened, are there like certain things you're not allowed to do now? Noira is eternally young and beautiful like the ocean. Why, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to believe that. It surprises me that I've never been like reckless. The only thing I messed up with was when I was younger was sleep schedule, and now I fix my sleep so good. But you're young, aren't you, Kyle? You still have time to be reckless if you want to. You're still quite young. I used to condone being reckless. I'm actually the type of person where I'm like, I literally told my niece and nephew, who's like approaching, I think one of them is like 18 already. The other one's like 17 going 18. And I'm like, bro, whatever you want to do, like do it in your youth. But like know the consequences and be accountable over them, because you're an adult now. I told them, like they've never tried drinking before. And I told them, if you've never tried drinking before try drinking with us first. Try drinking with family. Figure out where your tolerance is so that you know how to manage yourself once you get drunk out with friends and stuff like that. That's what I told them. So I always like condone, you know what, try being reckless as long as you know how to take care of yourself and be aware of the consequences and be accountable over whatever the fuck you do. I have a home gym set up and I'm slowly getting back into going for runs through the trail where I live. It's about 1.5 miles long, so a good way to get cardio in. Ooh, is the trail pretty, Kami? I don't think I've ever gotten drunk. 1, I don't drink often, and 2, I fall asleep before I do. There are some people who are like that, where when you drink, you just get really sleepy, and that's okay. Does that mean you'll be great if we make a steak out of you? You want to make a steak out of a sea fox? I don't know. What if that actually, if you do that, you might get doomed into eternal hell. Sinning against a god, excuse me? How dare you? So Noira is the start of time? Sure I am. About to post this week's drunk rambling. Anyone want any of the wisdom dropped here as well? Yes, I like cheese is our drunk scribe. He usually puts out a lot of interesting scriptures. Not only was I someplace else, I was wearing different pants. I don't know where they came from. Arayashiki Shirayuki, thank you for 9 months of being a tiddling on YouTube side. Thank you. And I hope you've enjoyed your months here at the Deep Blue. Isn't it crazy that nowadays we have so many titlings who have been here for long, like very long? I would say like anything above like 3 months is fucking long, honestly. I think, yeah. So thank you, titlings, for staying at the Deep Blue. 3 years ago, I have to be careful how I stretch. Oh my God, that's crazy. You have to. Does that mean that you also can't do certain exercises if you got to be careful of how you stretch? I don't need to be reckless. I don't think that would do me something good and even fun. I've learned to have fun, slow and safely. And that's okay. That's okay. I chose to be reckless because I wanted to. I had this idea in my head that, okay, I am in my youth. Let's see how far we can take it. I'm that sort of person, if you guys haven't noticed. As you guys can see from the way I play Clay Obscure, I am stubborn and curious, and that is a deadly combo. That results in me doing very questionable things and being very stubborn about it. So I was like that with being reckless and trying out a partying lifestyle. That's why it only lasted like 7 or 8 months or so. Because I was like, how far can I take partying? If I were to party, how wild can I get? And yes, I made that my mission. Wait, sorry, catching up with chat. I'm quite reckless, and in school I used to slap men around. What? When I'm really angry, I can't control myself. That got me in big trouble. If you have if you have trouble controlling your anger, that is a problem. I think that TLDR, I think the easiest way to put it is that emotional intelligence is very important. And the core of emotional intelligence is self-awareness, meaning how you know how you feel and you know what your feeling means, and you kind of have an idea of what to do with it to the point that you can manage your feelings. That is an important part of being human in society. So if you do have troubles controlling your feelings, be it infatuation or like anger, I think it's deep rooted in a sense of self-awareness and emotional management, I guess. So, I'm not a life coach, nor am I a therapist, so I can't really give you any solid advice, but you might want to look up tips on how to manage your emotions better. I'm not gonna give like advice that's not backed by anything. Drink in the company of friends. They would not abandon you in a random parking lot, or would they? Yes. I've had many stories of friends being abandoned in like random bushes and stuff, which is a scary thing. I'm glad nothing happened to them. Sinning against the sea fox would keen you never get the characters you want on gacha. A fate worse than death. Ah, yes. Such rumors have been spread, and they mayhaps be true, lest you dare to try it out yourself. See what happens when you sin against me. Like when you watch other VTubers and you don't pay the toll fee, the absolution fee. Yeah, that $10 per 1 hour of watching false idols, other false idols. Think about it. I'm kidding, by the way. Don't put me into VTuber drama for saying stupid shit. Late to conversation, but I'm a grocery nighttime clerk at my local market. That's my physical activity. Grocery nighttime clerk, do you stock the shelves a lot, or do you just stand up a lot manning the cashier? Are? Oh, is that an R redeem? Hold on. There you go. Activity is non-existent except when it is. Sorry, I'm so sad I can't read all the chat. I can't catch up with every single one of them. Noira has boxed all creatures that have come into existence for a few timelines and have only lost once. She stopped allowing salmon to grow arms after that. so remember, she can take arm privileges, titlings. Yeah, man. Imagine if I took your arms, little titlings. You'd lose your girlfriend. I'm sorry. You came up in my recommended feed and I wanted to say your model is very beautiful. Thank you, Giratina. Thank you. Okay. And hi, Ghost of Mint. Hello. I finally caught up. Am I finally caught up? I'm finally caught up. Girlfriend? Yeah, you guys, I don't know. One of your hands is your girlfriend. Am I wrong? I'm obviously not wrong. I'm never wrong. Good morning, Mystic Samurai. I am good. How are you? Stop promoting arson. Why are we promoting arson in chat? She can take my arm privileges away. Would Exolotils be her one rival because of its regeneration? But if I chop it up fast enough, you know, that's usually the anime logic, right? Right? Or like burn, usually on fire, set it on fire. That's usually the anime logic of dealing with regeneration. I'm an account manager. I'm incentivized to go around the city and meeting my users directly. Does that count as activity? It depends. If you like fucking sprint to every fucking client, then yes, that would be a very active activity. I don't have a girlfriend. Got some people who like me, but I turned her down. That's okay. Noira's the only cult goddess I'd pledge allegiance to. Oh, look at these loyal fanatics. Look at these zealous titlings. Got a girl, so who needs hands? Okay, someone's flexing, hey? Someone's flexing. Acid is what deals best with regen, you're right. Speaking of girls, the girl I met recently did a sudden 180 after 2 dates. I invited her for a third hangout, got ghosted. Did hurt a bit, so glad I gymmed this morning. Oh shit, I'm so sorry that happened to you, Mint. That sucks, dude. I know what that's like. I've been ghosted before too. I had an ex who like broke up with me and then just fucking ghosted me. And I recently talked to him, by the way, and he was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry of what I did. That was shitty. I could have handled that better," he said. And I'm like, "Yeah, nah, I was weird anyway. It's fine, dude." And now we're cool. After like some good years, that's a lot of years actually. After a long time, we decided to make peace with it. What? Wait, what else did I miss? Yes, I hope you feel better. If you have some sort of negative or bad energy from it, yes, the best way to get rid of that or deal with that is defos to go to the gym or do something active. Yeah. Don't do what I did. Usually my go-to thing for breakups is to drink a lot and rebound. Don't do that. It's very destructive behavior. Don't do what I do. Kami, thank you for the sub gifted to Zoe. Thank you. Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. Thank you for the sub gifted. Kami, to Decatonics too. Thank you. But yeah, I do think that ghosting people is so bad. I ghost people when I tell them no and I've set my boundaries and they choose to ignore it. Then I ghost them and block them. But if not, I always try to give an explanation. But I'm not trying to be a pick me girl or anything, okay? That's like how I choose to handle things because I've been ghosted before and I didn't like that feeling. Well, and I kind of wish more people would do that in a way, you know? Sly, thank you for the 5 gifted on YouTube side. Thank you for offering towards a shrine. Where the fuck is the notification? Thank you, Sly. Thank you for your contribution and generosity towards the Deep Blue. And 3 months of being a tideling on YouTube side. Look at you. Just showing prowess over two dimensions. Isn't that crazy? Thank you, Sly. Thank you. So tell us, from a scale of 1 to 5, how has your experience been at the Deep Blue? From a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to recommend the Deep Blue to other VTuber enthusiasts? Sorry, I gotta skip over chat again to catch up. Silver lining here is it gave me a chance to test my emotional regulation, made me realize my emotional maturity has grown over the past year. And I'm glad I had this chance to reflect on where I'm at. Oh, that is amazing. Yeah, definitely hard times. One thing that hard times does well is to have us reflect and see how far we've come. That is definitely something that you can do. And I am proud of you, Mint. I'm proud of you. Kami, thank you for the chair. Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. And we're at hype train level 3. What the hell is going on? This week has been crazy ever since Kami's return. What the hell? Thank you. Thank you so much for placing so much on the shrine. I shall drink to that. I got banned over other servers when I advertise you on your birthday. Yeah, don't promote other people on other servers, man. I think it's kind of disrespectful to do that when you're like, you've been welcomed to someone's Discord server and then you choose to promote someone else. It feels a bit weird. Don't do that. I understand the genuine intention behind it and I'm thankful, but like I feel horrible if like that gets you in trouble. And even I prefer people not doing that. As much as I think my tidelings are here for good reason, it still feels like you go into someone's house and you replace their picture frames with like someone else's picture. I guess that's how I kind of feel about it. Oh my god, man. Hold the fuck up. Wapper, thank you for the 10 gifted on Twitch side. And Dark Cortex, thank you for the cheers on Twitch side too. Thank you for your offerings to the shrine, Wapper and Dark Cortex. I can't even catch up with what the fuck is happening right now on Twitch. We are currently on hype train level 6. Jesus, you guys. Where is all this energy coming from? This is a very cozy space. It's hot where I am and the chill of this live stream is balancing it out. Oh, hey, I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you, Ren. Oh, you changed it from Giratina to Ren. Why? Your profile picture is still Giratina. But thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the space here. And Air Trumpet, friend, thank you for your gifted on YouTube side. Thank you. I kind of want to gatekeep you though, but I also want the world to know how comfy your free talk is. I want to find a way to be able to respond to you guys better, even when we do grow. I don't know how that's possible though. How? Maybe one. I don't know. We'll think about it once we get there. I mean, it's not as if I'm growing at a fast pace, dude. So you guys don't have to think about it too much. Thankfully for you guys, the Deep Blue grows at quite a leisurely pace, so we have nothing to worry about. 35% off 5+ gifts. Oh yeah, that's why. I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. And oh my lord. Kami, thank you for the 1K bits chair once again. Thank you for offering towards the shrine. And may your day tomorrow be sunny and bright. Fuck the rain. For your offerings, I shall bless you, leave you with such blessings. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to bless everyone. What the fuck? I forgot to do that. Let's see. What if I run out of blessings if people keep on contributing? I see Sly here. Sly, I hope your next gacha pull is SSR as fuck. Wapper, I hope that tomorrow your hair is just a little bit more fluffy and it looks fucking great. Ear Trumpet, I hope that your muscles, your back pain, your lower back pain that exists from sitting too much on the computer is a little less painful tomorrow. I just assume everyone has lower back pain. Yes, remind me to give blessings to everyone who drops offerings at the shrine. Sai, thank you for the cheer. Sai, I hope that your night shift tomorrow has a little bit more activity so that you have a little bit more to do, because boredom is truly the noonday demon. I learned about that today. Did you guys know that boredom used to be called in the Bible as the noonday demon? I learned about that today and I posted the video on Discord. By the way, if you guys haven't joined the Discord and you'd like to hang out with the other tadlings at the Deep Blue and have thoughtful talks and discussions on top of celebrate little things in life, all the good vibes, man, all the good vibes. And also have game sessions and movie nights, which is currently being planned by Ninja. Do join Discord. It's over at discord.gg/Noira. Thank you for doing the Discord link. On YouTube, it's in the description. Join if you haven't already. There are steps to joining. Be sure to unlock the full server. Jason, thank you for your offering towards the shrine. Let me think. Jason, for you, I hope that for the next web fishing punching championship, you punch a little harder. You may go with that blessing. Boredom is just an opportunity to be creative. Now, wait, I have a whole debate about that because of the things I've learned, right? So boredom, there is so much research around boredom. And yes, it was called the noonday demon. Why? Because apparently the idea is that boredom is, it's an evolutionary way of kind of telling you that, hey, you should be doing something differently. That's what boredom is. It's like a mini existential crisis. It's like a little questioning in your day where it's like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? But like a mini version of it. That's what boredom is. Peter, thank you for your offering towards the shrine. Oh, my screen fucking froze. That scared me. New live achievement. Get chill and yap with the sea goddess while feeding the childling. One hand holds the whiskey and second hand holds the milk bottle. Please don't accidentally give childling the wrong drink. Please. We don't want the childling evolving too fast into a tideling, okay? Let the childling be a child. Don't accidentally switch between the milk bottle and the whiskey. But good to hear. Thank you for your offerings towards the shrine. And I hope that the childling cries a little less later tonight. Ooh, that kind of rhymed. Spitting bars. How do you play Expedition 33? How is it? Oh, it's great. I love Expedition 33. I love it. But yeah, boredom is basically a mini existential crisis. And apparently there are some... Look, boredom can do a lot of good things, but also bad. So when you put someone in a room with nothing at all, you can... There's research behind this and studies behind this. For example, when someone is put in a room alone for like, say, some good minutes, like 30 minutes or so, and there's only a button that kind of can give you an electric shock, they will be so fucking bored out of their minds that they will choose to shock themselves and experience a little bit of pain and electric shock rather than just sit through the boredom. And it is, research also shows that boredom tends to make people a little bit more sadistic and make people give into the intrusive thoughts. Basically, people just do anything in order to not experience boredom. Whatever is available, they will do. That is what boredom is. Anonymous, thank you for the gifted to Mystic. Who is this Anonymous? Thank you. Thank you for the gift. And also, did we get a hype train completed? Did I miss it? I missed the notification. But thank you for completing the hype train on Twitch side, guys. Thank you. And Freak Video Gamer, thank you for the super chato. Super chato, arigato on YouTube side. Fox in the screen, what am I doing with my life? What are you doing with your life? You are going through it. And how you go through it depends on you. What do you want? And stop. I wanted to make this video. No, but wait, I still want to talk about boredom. So yes, that is the basis of boredom. And it's a very interesting thing. And there are many, but also boredom can also give way to retrospection and nostalgia and daydreaming, which can be good, which may also lead to creativity. But at the same time, boredom really can make people go mad. So that's basically what boredom is. And here's a very interesting fact. Listen to me right now, titlings. So one of the best cures to boredom is obviously your smartphone and doom scrolling, right? But what smartphones and doom scrolling does to you is that it gives such a quick fix to boredom without much weight to it, to the point that it will stop you from being bored, but it will not cure your boredom. It will just stop you from being bored. And keep you at that same level of boredness. But what it also does is that if you do it enough, if you doom scroll enough, and every time you get bored, you choose to doom scroll and pick up your phone, you kind of end up training your brain to have less tolerance towards boredom. Meaning every time you get bored, you will always seek your phone, and then you end up getting bored faster because the phone doesn't really do much to cure your boredom, only stop you from getting more bored. Does that make sense? So be careful with that. There's research behind that. It's a dopamine thing too, on top of, yeah, it's also like a dopamine thing, like a neuropsychological thing. The way if you train your brain on doom scrolling for curing your boredom, it's a very bad trajectory towards lesser attention span and just being basically getting bored more easier. But yes, Friendo and Death Comes, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Thank you. Catching up with chat now. I draw ponies when I'm bored. I drew a David Bowie pony recently. That's so cute. So you are procrastinating your boredom? Yes, that's what doom scrolling does. This is why everyone should take minutes of their day to literally do nothing. Yeah, so what you can do with boredom is either you can sit with it, like let it do its thing, like you can daydream, or like just basically give space to your brain, let boredom be boredom, and that'll lend to, you know, moments of nostalgia or thinking or creativity, right? Another thing you could do is, of course, get your phone and doom scroll for easy cure to your boredom. But don't do it too often, like I mentioned earlier. Like, it's not particularly bad. I mean, it can be really bad if you do it too often, but if you do it once in a while, I don't think it's like that bad. Like, even I still like doom scrolling every once in a while. Because sometimes you just want to not get bored, but also not put effort into not getting bored. You get what I mean? And the other thing you can do with boredom is that you push through it, meaning you would want to do something that's fucking hard to start, but you know there's light at the end of the tunnel. Like if you're bored, go to the gym. But the act of going to the gym or standing up to put on your gym clothes and go to the gym is such an arduous task. And that's totally understandable. But once you get there, you know you will feel good about it. That is the other way to deal with boredom. That is the harder way to deal with boredom. But that is also the better way to train your brain to actually significantly cure your boredom. If you do that more often, you'll train your brain to kind of get bored less often. I wouldn't say that, I guess. But you'll deal with your boredom in a more productive way, in a more significant way compared to, say, doom scrolling. But yeah, watch the video I posted on Discord. I think it's such a good video. Have you ever read a book multiple times just because you like it, even though you basically already know them inside out? Yeah, that was me and innovators, but I wouldn't say I know it inside out. The thing is, I have really bad memory. So usually when I read a book, I forget about it. I remember the gist of it, but I mostly forget about it. So every time when I do reread the book, I forget like 80% of it. So 80% of it is new to me still. Unfortunately, that's how my memory works. It is both a curse and a blessing. Whenever I find myself getting bored, I either open your VODs and meditate while listening to you yapping. Or I find my list of anime etc. and ask what of these do I want to consume today. That's fair. I think it's like a matter of balance, right? It's a matter of balance and being aware that whatever you end up doing with your boredom will end up training your brain on how to deal with boredom. Just keep that in mind. So if you want to train your brain to be able to deal with boredom better in a more effective way, then you must do more difficult things to cure that boredom. If you don't, then you may resort to doom scrolling, but be aware of the consequences. What did I want to say? Yeah, fun stuff. I don't remember what I was gonna say. But it's very fun stuff. I like these sort of things, okay? Talking about boredom and everything. It's really fun to me. Julian, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. I'm gonna drink some water. Hi there, Samurai. I've been trying to fight anxiety during COVID with meditation, and first found it extremely boring, but now I am looking forward for a meditation break every day. It helps me reset very well. Honestly, for me, meditation is just too hard. It's not that I can't do it, but I can't bring myself to start doing it. Sure, that's probably like a skill issue from my side. I'm not gonna lie. But because I've been fine without it, probably just because of how self-aware and retrospective I am by the minute. Some may call it overthinking, but I don't think it's overthinking. I think I just like to think, full stop. I think I'm okay. Yeah, but the side effects of that is, according to the psychologist I talked to, is that because I'm not really mindful of the things that I do, I forget a lot of things. Because I'm like kind of always daydreaming and thinking about things in my head, I end up not being mindful about a lot of things. That's why I forget a lot of things. Apparently that's what she said. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Do you guys ever have this happen to you where you kind of like take a shower, but you're entertaining your shower thoughts too much that you don't even remember if you've shampooed your hair? Because that shit happens to me so often. That's how bad it is for me. An hour redeem? Why are there so many hour redeems today? Jeez. There's thinking and then there's pondering. And I think there's a huge difference between them despite being so similar. Oh yeah, definitely. You know, thinking is easy. And thinking about things is easy. The hardest thing is to solve your own fucking problems when you're having an existential crisis, because that shit questions your ego and it's fucking painful, right? That's the most difficult thing. Thankfully, I've got it to a place where I think I can do that quite well. Although, sure, it puts me in I wouldn't say it puts me in a shitty mood, but it puts me in a very retrospective mood, and I just get so focused about it that I can't. I just get obsessed with it, I guess, to a sense. Like the last time I had like a mad existential crisis, I ended up using the whole weekend to just think about it and solve it. Like that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But hey, I got out of it, but it's not the most efficient way. But I really like honing into these sort of thought processes. Hi there, Nekoyuki. Got this banger thought and I forgot if I had washed my face. Oh, so it happens to y'all's too. Yeah, apparently it's because you're not mindful when you're taking a shower. So my psychologist said that try being more mindful when you're taking a shower. Just no thoughts. Just be present in the moment. Feel the water on your skin and shit like that, you know. Stop thinking. Be more mindful, she said. And I'm like, I have never been able to do that, by the way. So maybe my mindfulness is actually just a skill issue, but I'm trying to make excuses for myself right now by saying that I'm an almighty God, I don't need mindfulness. But no, I really should be more mindful. Ever think of checking your fridge for a snack? Actually, no. I'm not really someone who snacks. Like, if I don't see things right in front of me, I will not remember if that thing exists or not. So when I have something in my fridge, I don't really remember that it's in there until I open the fridge. So no, I don't really check my fridge and stuff. Thank you for the hydrate. I'll drink some water. I do not have a cat. I think so much that I actually forgot. I forgot to actually shower one time. Yeah, honestly, that has happened to me too. Like, my psychologist thinks that it's some thought, some mode of anxiety or something, some version of overthinking. But I tell her that no, I don't think so. It's not as if like, sure, sometimes my curiosity gets the best of me, and I just think about it nonstop in an almost obsessive sort of way. But it doesn't really affect me in a negative sort of way. It affects the people around me. Yeah, it affects the people around me because sometimes they be talking to me and I'm like, oh, sorry, what? But it doesn't affect me negatively. Yeah. Noira forgot to shower? No, I don't. I never do. I never do. But sometimes I have had these bouts where I think too much in the shower and then I don't use soap. And only then to doubt myself. So then I get back in the shower and use soap. You think I never shower? I'm not that kind of VTuber. What is this? Now that we're talking about it, I do notice that there's this trend of VTubers not showering, and apparently being stinky is a new cool thing. What is this? What is this trend? I don't understand. You had so much seawater and don't shower? Of course I shower. Yeah, of course I shower. Do you even need to shower? You're made of seawater. Even if I don't, I do it anyway. Because how else am I supposed to get my shower thoughts if I don't shower? Mirai, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. This is my first time hearing that not showering is a new trend. Is it not? Well, no, okay. VTubers joke about a few things. One of them is like the boy smell meme. The other one is not showering and being stinky. And the third one is probably like, I don't know why, but being dumb. And the fourth is like feet. These are the trends I notice. I don't judge. I question them, but I don't judge. Your answer makes much sense. Yeah, see, of course. I am the all-logical sea fox. I think that's happened a few times where I forgot if I washed a part of my body or not. But usually I'll focus on washing myself and then just sit or stand and allow my thoughts to be. Isn't it the best thing to kind of just stand under the running warm/hot water and let your thoughts just roam free? It's such a nice feeling. It's almost like the same feeling as if when you're taking a walk and it's a nice day and it's quite serene and you've taken this walk so many times, but it feels especially nice today. It's a similar sort of feeling, I feel like. Why are you interrogating me with these questions, Koyuki? When are you going to release the scented seawater and alcohol candles? When I'm big enough. When the Deep Blue grows. When I have negotiating power over producers. Then we shall. Uno, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Just you and your thoughts as if you exist outside of the world for a moment. Indeed. I guess that's a very nice description of it. In my opinion, being dumb is only funny online. IRL dumb is really annoying. I would like to think that it's a joke. But also, I would like to say that I've been there. I was also once a young dumb sea fox. Young dumb, oh. I used to be very clueless about a lot of things in the world. And clueless about how to talk with people and everything like that. I was just so clueless and unaware about a lot of things, I think, in my youth. So I was there before, so I understand. Was I proud of it? No, I was very ashamed of it. That's why I think I see these jokes online and I'm thinking, I don't think I've ever joked about that back then. But hey, maybe it's a different time, different era, right? I've been around for a while, so maybe it's a different sort of century. I love you and we don't question love. Sure. Thank you. Young, dumb, and broke? Yep. Yep. Of course. I'm having a 2.0 debut. You think I'm not broke? Same, I used to be a young, dumb titling. Still dumb now, but much less. Yeah. Yeah. And I'd also like to think that being... Okay, when you say dumb, dumb is mostly like... Okay, I was going to say dumb is purely IQ. That's not true. Dumb is a combination of IQ and EQ, right? Knowing the world around you, having some thinking skills, not thinking skills, sorry, but like having some quote-unquote common sense and having a sort of way of street smarts, a certain level of street smarts. Look, for me, I would like to think that I'm good with a lot of things, but if it involves me having to memorize things, I'm really bad at it. Like how to calculate certain things in a certain way. Numbers, I'm really also bad with numbers. And geography, I'm really bad with geography. Because for the life of me, I can't remember where everything is. And obviously, I'm really bad with directions. Oh my god, it sounds like I'm bad with a lot of things. Hey, but at least I'm wise. At least I'm wise. And at least I read. So, no matter... Even though I forget a lot of things over time, I read, so there's like still a steady flow of information input for the amount that I lose. You get what I mean? So it's like a replacement sort of thing going on. So I have input for the amount of stuff that I forget to replace the amount of stuff that I forget. So I'd like to think that I'm okay. I'd like to think that I'm okay. I used to be young and dumb, but now I'm older, so I'm just dumb. Why does that sound so cute? We already have an accountant in the Deep Blue though. we should knight Mint actually. I forgot about that. We should knight Mint and we should knight Kami. Who else should we knight? I like knighting in threes. Of course you'd have trouble with geography. You have more than 100k islands around you. But yeah, but like also everything else, like geography and directions, it doesn't... You know, for things that don't make sense, that are just facts, yeah, I think that's why I have a hard time with it. So for me, it's easy to remember when there's like... when it makes sense. The things that make sense are easy for me to understand and remember. When there's no logic behind it and it's just a fact, it's really hard for me to remember. So with geography, right? Countries and cities are just there. You get what I mean? That's why it's harder for me to remember. I mean, you could argue that, okay, during the creation of time, this and this happened, and then, you know, Pangea and shit like that, and then shit dispersed, and then suddenly there are continents. Wow, and suddenly there are cities, and this place got colonized by this place, and suddenly this place is like one whole big thing. You can argue that, but I don't have the capacity to remember all that historical shit. I want to recommend you an upcoming game titled Hell Is Us. The game will fully release at September, but the demo is out, but the game doesn't have a map, so I think it will be hard for you. Wait, I saw Hollow, who is who is a guy I love watching. I actually watched Hollow playing it, and I'm like, what the fuck? This game's progression is so slow. And I said this exactly as I was watching him play. I was like, I could never play this game. I would get stuck and lost in this game for 2 hours and have zero progression. Because I saw how it is and there's zero maps and like, shit's dark and everything like that. So, yes, that's what I believe. The best way to study geography and history is knowing their context behind the fact. Make it stick so much better. Yeah, on the other hand, there's also the part of me where it's like, if I can just Google it, do I really need to memorize it? I mean, at what point do I have to, in real time, remember geography? Maybe when I'm lost somewhere. No, not even. Because that's more of like survival directional skills, right? Okay, tell me. Unless I'm suddenly in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or something like that, when do I need geography skills real time? You're 9. Hey, you're not allowed to be here. I'm sorry. You may either leave or I will ban you. This stream is labeled mature for a reason. Interlink, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. When traveling? Why would you need geography in real time when you're traveling? You have Google Maps. I think you can just hire people. Hire people for what? Okay, I'm sorry. I have to ban you, mate. I am not allowed to have underage people in my chat. I don't think it's right. Nico, Yuki, boy. Come back later when you're of legal age. This shit that I talk about is not apt for younger people, for people not of legal age. This place is for grown-ups only. Yes. When you got stuck in this situation where your credit card is useless, such as being in a plane crash, how would geography help you if you're like in a plane crash and you don't even know where you landed? Wouldn't Boy Scout skills come handy instead? Not a grandma, how dare you? It's One-san. Geography helps you not be embarrassed when people ask stuff like, do you know what continent Canada is in? Yeah, that's the only reason. That's the only time you need geography real time, right? But if you ask me other logical questions, I can prove to you that I have a working brain. Just not in things that require me to remember stuff. Like when it comes to maths, right? Even since back then. I've always been okay with understanding the logic behind math questions and everything like that. But I've always had trouble referencing and remembering what formulas I need to use. That's why I used to do really horribly in math. But I really did used to do quite well in like understanding the logic behind it and using other or finding roundabout ways on solving a problem. But the teacher didn't like that. Yes, please don't joke about it either, because I will ban you. And you can also get me in trouble if you joke about such things, okay? What about the airport game, where you pick a random location on Google Maps Street View, but all tools of Google Maps are disabled except navigation? Is that GeoGuessr? Is that GeoGuessr? Geography is also useful for knowing which countries are at war and how far away they are. But you don't need to know that real time, right, Nautilus? Arguably. It can be something that you can read on the news 10 minutes later. Well, I gotta get to work. At least I got to chill for a little bit. Thank you, Kurt, for always dropping by, you great person. Thank you, and I hope you have a good day at work. Ah, Girls of Mint! Super chat, arigato. Thank you for the super chat. Before the Deep Blue goes public, take this insider trading info. Noira's 2.0 is expected to skyrocket the Deep Blue stock values. By now, your capital gains will be non-taxable, says our accountant. Wait, you're insider trading right now. Oh no. Well, it's okay. We won't tell anyone. But yes, it might be a good time to buy Noira stocks. Just saying, the Deep Blue stocks will be soaring. It'll be soaring stonks and high. After 2.0, it's gonna be going crazy, man. Going crazy. Just for the initial public offering for the IPO, be sure to get that IPO in for the Deep Blue stocks. Geography not as useful. Knowing how to read a map, however, a good skill to always have. I know how to read maps, I think. If I spend enough time trying hard enough. Yeah, I think I can read maps. Thank the maker and everything divine that I'm an adult in over 900 systems, several multiverses, and 3 extra-dimensional planes of existence, except for Yegdruga, trees be trees. So yeah, good to hear. Good to hear. Alas, I'm still older than you. That's just a fact. That's canon. I feel like a lot of topics covered by general studies should have been specialized knowledge. So much of our college time could be optimized for specialization if it weren't for geography/biology. No, I do think that geography and biology, it is good to know. Geography, biology, chemistry, and everything like that. A lot of these generic topics are really good to know. By the way, Mint, thank you for your offering towards the shrine. And I hope that tomorrow your credit and balances meet perfectly. You don't need to find that missing 0.01 cent in your general ledger. Yeah. I hope that your accounts meet, the bottom line of your accounts meet perfectly. I think that general knowledge that's given by school is quite great because you do need some modicum of sense of like what geography is, what history is, and everything like that. Because for me, I don't remember them, but like I still kind of know the gist of it. Yes, balance sheet, thank you. Oh my god, my accounting 101 is not working right now. Yes, you will have a good balance sheet and your balance sheet will balance. That sounds like it came from a pro, right? Yeah, I mean, you must know that there are other countries out there and there are continents out there and there are other cities out there with different cultures, and geography teaches you that at a very baseline sort of level. And with history, you must know that there were other people before you and the shit that they did and how it equates to modern life. At a baseline level, it's good to know. Same thing with biology. You need to know how the body works. And chemistry, you kind of got to know of like what you should not mix, like how you should not put apple cider vinegar in a plastic container because it will fucking degrade the plastic and will make fumes and shit, or not to mix bleach with like vinegar because that's fucking dangerous. You need to know these sort of things. What else? Yeah, I think there's some sense. There's a good sense in like being able to introduce these sort of topics at a general level. But I think expecting people to remember everything 1-to-1 100% is kind of questionable in a sense. Oh yeah, I think so too, Clarence. It's also good to introduce in school like so many different topics so that you can kind of widen the horizons of the students who are learning and be like, hey, these are the topics you can kind of specialize in. But yeah, defos. Wait, my apple cider vinegar came in a plastic bottle? Yeah, apparently it's not supposed to be like that. It needs to be in a glass bottle. Silicone is okay. I just read this up this morning, by the way, because I'm trying to get into the habit of having apple cider vinegar every morning for gastrointestinal purposes because I heard from my friend who has autoimmune disorder and gastrointestinal stuff that it has helped him a lot. So I've taken his advice. And yeah, and I looked up Reddit r/chemistry on Reddit to find out if I can move my apple cider vinegar from a glass container to some other mode of container. and I found out that, okay, you must move it to something that's glass. And you may have some little silicone in it, like if you have a silicone topper, that's okay. But never go with plastic, because plastic and metal is a big no-no. Aluminum apparently is okay, but I think it's better you don't. Like anything metal, it will corrode the metal. So go with glass and maybe a bit of silicone. Two-time Tom, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Speaking of topics covered in school, is it true some regions or countries hold off on sex ed, even among teenagers? We have that covered as early as 11 years old. Yes. And I don't know why, but I think on Twitter it has become a political debate. Do I have an opinion about it? I think it's good to know how the fucking body works so that you don't accidentally get pregnant. That's my stance on it. Now, on my opinion on how early you should be taught, I think I'd rather not say on the internet. Because I've seen how it can be political, and I'd rather not have to delve into political talks on the internet. Wait, ACV isn't supposed to be in plastic. No, it's not, apparently. You can check Reddit. Look up ACV plastic, and you will see how many people do not recommend it to be in plastic. But yeah, apple cider vinegar, for you guys who don't know, is actually pretty good for your digestion and everything like that. Look up the benefits of apple cider vinegar. It fixes like bloating and everything, and some even say it helps you cull your appetite a tad. I don't know, I'm just in it for the bloating side of it. Acid will break down aluminum, and aluminum ingested is toxic. Yeah, there you go. No metals, no plastic. Glass storage tends to be the better storage type on average. Yeah, but they're quite tedious, aren't they? They're quite tedious. Political will get you in a bad road. There are some things I just refuse to discuss or talk about as an anime girl on the internet. And those things mostly as well, politics and religion, because I feel like it's an endless charade if you start arguing about these sort of things on the internet. It's a sort of topic that I wouldn't be bothered getting into if I know that it's a matter of values rather than facts. You get what I mean? There are just some topics that I'd rather not talk about if it's coming from a place of personal values rather than facts. So I don't talk about these things. Because there's no point in arguing when what you're arguing about is someone's values rather than the facts on hand. Pete and Logic too. Pete, super chat, arigato. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you for your offering towards the shrine. May Childling drink a lot of milk tomorrow and sleep very well because of the much milk that has been drank. Geography is very important for starting and running a business. Manufacturing, shipping, taxes, and finance. Also, many high-level management jobs, all related. For example, blockade on the Suez Canal. Yeah, but it is important, but I don't think it is an important real-time knowledge sort of thing. Meaning, if you were to put me on a job that requires geographical knowledge, I could probably do it with the help of Google. Meaning, okay, I just need to do my own research on these certain areas that are relevant. But do I have to memorize them? Probably not. That's how I feel about it. Are we Scrub Daddy cult now? Yes, we have always been a Scrub Daddy cult. We're not a cult, but we've always been a worshipper. Zealous worshippers of Scrub Daddy. Sans, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. The only religion we need is the cult of Noira. We are not a cult, by the way. Having the real-time knowledge helps making use Google Maps easier. Depends on what you're trying to do, I guess, on Google Maps. Ball milk? Ball milk? What the fuck? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. That's a fucking crazy name, dude. Bloody hells. The Straits of Hormuz have shipping slowed down due to military actions of the past 2 years. That affects business. Would that be like more of current news than geography though, Peter? I feel like I should show you guys a state of my scrub daddy, by the way. My scrub daddy looks sleazy as hell. I'll post it tomorrow. No, wait. I don't have my phone with me right now, so I can't post it right now. But I took a picture of my scrub daddy this morning because it looked hilarious. I'll show you guys tomorrow. So memorizing shit is not always needed, but having a good general knowledge of geography is very, very useful in adult life. I agree about that too. I agree. Having general knowledge about a lot of things is probably one of the most useful things you can do in life. Because I feel like the best innovators are those who have knowledge on a lot of things and have the skill to kind of put many pieces from different aspects of everything together to make something that's truly innovative / new / fresh and out of the box. Yes, that's what I think. That's why I know a lot of random facts about a lot of things too. That's also what makes a good product manager, by the way, if you guys are looking into trying out a product manager job. There are two things worse than boiled milk. Carbonated. What the fuck is carbonated milk? Is it like milkus? Like Calpis? Is Calpis carbonated milk? I don't know what the fuck Calpis. No, Calpis is like yogurt water. Is that what Calpis is? Milk with chunks. So I had a friend who was from Wisconsin, and I asked him, what's like the staple food in Wisconsin? Because in my head, I've never been to America, right? Wisconsin, I heard, is like in the South. And whenever I hear South, this is a huge generalization, but I'm like, yeehaw, you know what I mean? That's all I think about the US. That's like the South and everything else. I know. I don't really know much about the US, guys. I've never been. So there's like cowboy US and there's non-cowboy US. So he told me that the staple food there is like cheese curds. And I'm like, what the fuck are cheese curds? That sounds disgusting. Oh yeah, maybe it's not South. I might be wrong. I might have remembered wrong. But yeah, and he said, yeah, the cheese curds we have at Wisconsin, they're fucking amazing. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's kind of disgusting. He said that it's like cheese bits that you deep fry or something, and I'm like, that's the most US thing I've heard ever. Cheese bits deep fried? But I'm curious. I would love to try it out. Look, I'm not good with my directions, okay? I might have remembered not the compass, but I probably remembered like which part of the US it was at. But yes, Wisconsin. I only know the difference between Brooklyn and New York because of Spider-Man. That's quite relatable. Cheese curds are amazing once you try them out. I do want to try. I want to try. What is it like similar? If you could compare it to like a similar dish, what would you compare it to? Like, what is it similar to, Sly? Ryson, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. I hope I said your name right. Long ago, the local mall had a cowboy hat store. That was like 30 years ago. I wanted a cowboy hat, but I didn't have money to buy that as a child. I'm pretty sure you can get a cowboy hat at the dollar store nowadays for Halloween, right? In Greece, you sort of fry cheese too. I wonder if they're like fried in a similar sort of way. Sex ed should be a parent's responsibility. Any question their child makes should be answered in an appropriate manner. It's a protection against predators. See, these things, I'd rather not talk about it on stream. My only stance on it that I'm willing to say on stream is that I think it's definitely necessary, but how it's handled is like up for discussion. I have my own opinions on it, but it's also like the fact, and I mentioned why I didn't want to talk about it that much. One is that it can get like political, which I'd rather not do. Second is also because I have my own opinions. And third, it's also because I haven't thought about it enough to feel like I have a well-rounded opinion to kind of solidify on about these things, because I don't know, I just never thought about it too much. I just only know that it's necessary. I think more so, I'm more curious about how the modern educational systems are going to handle the development of AI and navigating the internet. I think that's what I'm more interested in. It makes sense cheese curds would be a Wisconsin staple, given it's known as the dairy state. Oh, is it? The dairy state. So like what? Butter, cheese, milk and stuff? Have a good one, Tommy. Gotta keep the good vibes. Yeah, no worries, no worries. And welcome, Creeper Time. Welcome to the Deep Blue. But yeah, I like not talking. No. I like having discussions, but I'm very reserved about things that I don't have well-rounded opinions on. Because I think in my youth, I've been so eager to discuss and debate sometimes out of the excitement of it, that I've blurted out certain things that aren't particularly true or accurately represent what I think. Or I have blurted out things where I kind of regret because I didn't think about it as much as I wish I should have. Since then, I think, have my own reservations about like my opinions on things that I don't really have a good opinion about just yet, just because I haven't done my own research or haven't given it much thought. That's why you guys might catch me here at the Deep Blue just saying stuff like, I feel like I don't have an opinion on that yet, so I don't know. So you guys might actually catch me saying such things here at the Deep Blue. Wisconsin is a cheese place for the US, pretty much. I hope one day I get to try cheese curds. Read online, there's been a bit of a tussle with Wikipedia wanting to use generative AI for one thing. You know what happened today? I saw on the news summary newsletter that I subscribe to. Apparently Disney sued Midjourney AI for copyright infringement. That's probably, we should probably be celebrating over that, right? It's about time they get some consequences, these image generation AI and stuff. Yeah. I do hear something about AI. I'm quoting Code Carnage. There's generative AI and AI tools. He said that it's generative AI that's bad because it is human who should do art. But AI tools help human be human. That's what I think too, Clarence. That's what I think too. Have a good one, Clarence. My stance on AI is that AI is good if it assists humans in things that humans don't really like doing. For example, if humans don't like animating and lip syncing mouths when it comes to animation because it is tedious as fuck, then I think it's okay for AI to do it. But like, I don't think AI should have place in things that bring enjoyment and flourishing to the human mind and humanity in general. That's what I think. I just watched a video by a young teacher who only worked 1 year in middle school, and he says 90% of work submitted by kids are AI made, but unfortunately older teachers don't get it and grade those works well. That is true. And the thing is, like, there's also a little bit of, because of this AI trend, some people who actually make stuff purely by themselves sometimes can get filtered out as AI. For example, I really like using M dashes since whenever the fuck it was, because I really like having certain rhythm and pacing to my sentences when it comes to writing and even the way I talk, if you've noticed. I like my M dashes. I like my semicolons. I like these sort of things. But then I found out recently that if you have M dashes in your writing, you're most likely AI. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I really like my M dashes. The hell? I hate it. But at the same time, I don't fucking care. I put out really, I'm proud of my writing. If people don't want to read it because they think it's AI, honestly, I'm not even gonna bother with the energy to kind of debate against that, man. The next generation of teachers will be aware of the internet and AI, so they'll catch on. Yeah. DC Fox, what happened to the rest of the redeems? I don't see head pat redeem. And when you see me with like fancy backgrounds like these or fancy vibes like these, I actually can't put some of the redeems up. So unfortunately, I have to deactivate them because they won't appear at all. Sylvie, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. What's an M dash? Yeah, what Dark Cortex wrote. It's a very long dash. It's like when you say, what's an illustration? What's an example? I don't know how to give an example of an M dash in speech. But yeah, it's whatever Dark Cortex wrote. It's the long dashes. Good evening to you, Selfie. I've seen artists be accused of using AI, then they prove they don't. Yeah, but I don't know. With writing, I feel like it's much harder to prove whether it's AI or not. But if you notice, there are certain structures in writing that is quite AI. I don't know. I can't really even put my finger on like, I can't really even say why some writing feels AI, but there's just a certain hunch that comes from it. Like when you see certain tweets, you know that it's AI. I might be wrong though. The thing is, like, it's not as if I call out people or anything when it comes to writing. Wait, I didn't know N dash was 2 dashes. I didn't know M dash was 4 dashes. I didn't even know that. I thought both were the same thing. What the fuck? I didn't even know like the word N dash exists. Bloody else. No worries, Optimistic Sky. You have a good day, and thank you for dropping by and wanting to watch the VOD later on. You have a good one. It's kind of like using brackets to exemplify an aside remark. M dash is what you use for interruptions. Regular dash is strictly for compound words or adjective. Yeah, that's regular dash. N dash is for numbers. What? I didn't know. What do you mean N dash is for numbers? I didn't even know that. N dash. Let me check. Huh? Ranges in numbers and dates? Oh no! I've been grammatically wrong since forever. So it's for ranges in numbers and dates. So when you say like 3 to 6, whatever is in between 3 space dash space 6 is an N dash. Also, I have like this very particular habit of always wanting like proper spacing when it comes to the usages of dashes. So I always go with letter space N dash M dash space letter. And I know like a lot of people do letter M dash letter. I really like the space in between. I don't even fucking care if it's grammatically correct or not. It just looks better spacing wise. So I always use my M dashes with apt amounts of spacing. By the way, hands up if hands up to the people who've actually read my Substack post. I'm not trying to do a call out, by the way. I'm just curious. And it's okay if you haven't, because to be fair, not a lot of people know that I do posts on Substack. And I also just recently posted it. And it's still early morn, so it makes sense if people haven't read it. I saw it, but have yet to read it. I wonder if anyone has even. Oh shoot, you've read it? Holy shit! I kind of thought that not a lot of people have read it. So my recent post on Substack, for you guys who don't know, yes, I have a Substack. It's where I drop writing. Sometimes I summarize or like revisit older writings of older videos and then post it. And sometimes I make writings. Today was one of the times where I actually just made it. It was based off of the script of a video that I was working on that I never really made because I couldn't, I don't know, it felt off. I felt like I couldn't make a good video out of it, so I just left it to just die off, I guess. But then I decided to revisit it and make it a proper piece of writing. What is Substack? Substack is basically a social media, but more writing focused and oriented. So yeah, it's a social media for blog posts and shit like that, or like posts and articles in general. There's a lot of writers on it. And I recently made a post there about, what was it about? Hold on, my memory is not working for me right now. It was about how we're currently just virtually closer. Everyone's virtually closer because of the internet. But at the same time, we're ever so much more disconnected in a way. Just read it, and what you wrote has been a core part of my identity since 2022. Ah, wait, damn, that was a quick read. Holy shit. Fork stick. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Do you talk with other writers about the process? No, I don't. I just write and post it. It's pretty much like Tumblr, I guess, in a way, where you write posts, but then it's a social media. So yeah, that was like the premise of my post. It's basically how we're so connected nowadays, but also at the same time disconnected. About how sometimes when you spend too much time online, the online world kind of becomes your reality. And then you kind of get like this, you kind of get detached from the real world. In a way, because, the internet kind of pushes you via algorithm towards more vitriol and more extreme opinions and like things that don't really make a good representation of day-to-day life, like just extreme stuff, the more controversial stuff. Algorithm tends to do that, and thus it can end up like painting a very negative picture of humanity and the world around you, I guess. So yeah, that was the whole discussion of the whole post. And what's interesting is that when you do read that and then you come over to the Discord, the Deep Blue Discord, I kind of opened up a discussion about it. And I found out that my experience with the internet and how it made me disconnected at one point of my life made me very skeptical about the world and people around me. For some other people, the internet has become quite rather like a tool of encouragement and confidence instead. Meaning they're on the internet, they meet good people, they meet good communities, and that instead spurs them to be a better person in real life and spurs them into action and meeting more people in real life. And I thought that was so fascinating. The fact that the internet can give such stark experiences depending on the person and what you end up experiencing on the internet. Which then opens up the discussion, once again it's on Discord, of then how would be the best practices of navigating the internet? What would be the best practices of doing it so that you may indulge in the internet, but do it in a way where it actually gives you positive reinforcement and encouragement and good vibes so that you can be a better person in real life. Darkotrix, thank you for the gifted to Matthew. What? Thank you. Thank you. Gifted ho arigato. And also Matthew, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Have a good one, Have a good one, John. Thanks for dropping by. I've been touching grass lately and I can physically feel the healing. Internet made me more passionate about cars. I can see that. There's a balance for sure. Having IRL relationships is essential, I agree. But if I only prioritize that, I never have met all the sorts of amazing people online like the Deep Blue. Yeah, I think I came from a place because for me, I'm able to stream the way that I do. And to a certain extent, host the community of the Deep Blue the way that I do. Because my experiences are rooted in my offline experiences rather than online. Because my online experiences, at least I had a phase that was like a pretty shitty experience. Let's just put it that way. I found basically the person that I am right now at the Deep Blue on Discord, as a streamer, whatever you see here, is mostly because of my offline experiences. That's why I come from a place where I'm like, hey, the offline, if you're spending too much time on the internet and it's doing you bad, maybe spend more time offline. That's why I'm coming from that sort of perspective. However, I do understand where maybe your offline circumstances are kind of shitty, so then instead you go and spend more time offline, and that instead becomes a productive and nice time for you that instead directs you to becoming a better person in real life. I can also understand that perspective. Jason, thank you for the hydrate. I shall drink some water. The internet is so massive. It depends a lot on where you spend time, just like in real life. There's loads of subcultures that can be both good and bad to be in due to their influence on you. Yeah, but that's my argument, right? The thing is, like, the internet, it's very, rather than the experiences being serendipitous. I swear, I'm cursed at that word. The serendipitous experiences of serendipity. They're very much pushed by algorithm, meaning if it's pushed by algorithm, usually you'd get more exposed to more extreme stuff compared to, say, when you experience things organically and much more slower in real life. I guess that was kind of my argument. Serendipitous. A lot depends on the community you land on. Sometimes it's just toxic as heck. Others welcoming. Other times you just end up in a cult out of nowhere. True. For me, I try to see the internet as my tool to better enjoy and navigate life. My longest and best relationships have been online. It's also been the source of my most horrible social experiences. I'm grateful for the few people I've known longer than 2 years, though. Definitely. I also do have like some amazing experiences online, but I guess they've kind of been overridden by my offline experiences. Second one fits me. Falling into the vtuber rabbit hole unexpectedly saved me. Found good online friends / connections. Was inspired to return to art, have dreams again, and got more of a will to live. That's so good to hear. I didn't have access to the internet until my mid-teenage years, so I'm lucky in that regard to know the value of IRL relationships. All the ground around me is hurting, not recommend touching. It's okay, you can touch concrete instead. I think Matt Pat made a YouTube video on how, in regards that the modern social media is structured. It started affected people think how people think. Like, people online often see these glamorous influencers having fancy cars and mega mansions, and they see that as a baseline on what a good life is like, and as a result would subconsciously compare themselves to the people they see online and be more miserable as a result. Oh yeah, nah, I can definitely believe that happening. And that's why I think let's talk about this, hey? I think it's a good discussion. If, say, there's a new childling at the Deep Blue, like a very young childling who has never known the internet. If we were to give tips on how to navigate the internet for their first experiences and stepping into the world of the internet, what would they be? What guidelines would you give this young childling for navigating the internet so that they may navigate it well? Whiskey? What do you mean whiskey? It's like the internet tries to pigeonhole everyone into categories. You, titlings, by the way, are sinning against me if you diss my pronunciation of serendipitous. I can't even say it without laughing. Don't be sinning against me. If you say shit about that, you're fucking sinning. Okay, you need to absolve your sins. So shut up. Titlings tomorrow. The fastest will start front row. That's the slowest. Good luck, Ras Samurai. Represent the titlings of the deep blue well. I'd watch them the whole time. I would say that never take social media seriously. At best, it's curated reality, and at worst, it's outright fakery. Yeah, but like for someone who's new on the internet, or like take older people, right? You're like your parents. From my personal experiences, telling older people that, hey, what you're reading is probably fake as hell, or like that's a hoax, or like fact check your shit. Like telling that to them is like the hardest shit ever. So, knowing that, how would you communicate that to a childling? I would just ban the childling before using the internet, but like the childling eventually has to use the internet. That's a crazy name, Big Bad Dragon Toy. I'd so introduce them to Pop Tropica and other generally, what's Pop Tropica? Online fun spaces meant for kids in the 2000s, and I'd probably introduce them to informative yet easy to digest YouTube channels and sites. Yeah, that's a good way. Would you argue then that older websites and older platforms are generally more healthy? In a way? Do not trust everything you see on the internet. Not my full answer, but those are some things in my mind. They learn puzzle solving from some games. Have a solid sense of what your own values are. Being able to attain contentment on your own, achieve peace of mind through said contentment, and finally use said peace of mind as a measure of place/community you are exploring on the internet is right for you. But for you to do that means you gotta be able to have a healthy amount of selfishness, which is hard to achieve for younglings. Exactly! How do you can't just say that to a childling. It's tough, isn't it? We have Wikipedia at home. They want to watch Minecraft streamers. I'll show them the local puppet show. Learning doubt, I think, helps. I'll make them play Final Fantasy X so they can get their critical thinking going and they can question the things around them. I've recently come to accept that people are willfully ignorant. You can speak all the sense in the world with incredible peace and still be met with vitriol and excuses. So I've learned that people who are willfully ignorant, the reason is because whatever you're talking about or whatever you're trying to sway them with, it's not actually a matter of, it's a matter of values. Whatever you're talking about and whatever they're associating with is actually talking about their values. For example, if you're talking about virginity, let's say religion, like Christianity, right? Okay, if you're talking about Christianity and you're trying to argue against the fact that being so hung up on virginity is kind of lame, kind of shit, right? This is just an example. You're technically not gonna go anywhere with that sort of discussion or argument, even if you give all the facts and all the research in the world. If their value is purity, if the person you're arguing against, what they value is purity, you saying anything about that will not matter. Does that make sense? Because it's a straight attack to their personal values. So unless you kind of slowly chip away at their values, which I don't know how the fuck you do that. How the fuck do you change people's values? It's generally something, it's a hard thing to budge. That's why I feel like some arguments, if you notice with some people, you start noticing that whatever they're trying to represent is whatever argument they're trying to represent is actually a representation of their personal values and not factual. It's usually useless and I just not bother. I just be like, okay, yeah, sure. Because they will not listen. If they value purity more than factual facts and logic, you're not gonna go anywhere. That's why I think there's wisdom in identifying that, and thus you avoid disappointing yourself. Hold on. Let me read chat again. I would just tell my childling that the cars they flex is an appreciation of craftsmanship of the car. Like Bugatti, Chiron, Golden Era, Edition Livery. I have no idea what that is. When the childling uses the internet, I would just say to them to stay away from gambling crap. Honey stuff and always watch yourself, which I told my sis the same too. I don't know, horny stuff. I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm gonna just say that horny stuff is hard to gatekeep, man. I think I'd give a childling a children's book before a YouTube Kids channel on the smartphone. Back for food making, so hello again. Actually, she was right. Even I had a childhood without social media and online stuff for a bit, so I'd want my kid to experience some of that too. I know the pain. I sunk so much time in Pop Tropica. Even used the excuse that it helped me to learn to read. Okay, so the argument against that, or the argument for that, is that I've mentioned this before, but there is an educational system that actually wouldn't say support it, but they kind of go with that sort of line of thinking. They believe that children should learn and experience the world in the most analog way as possible, because it provides them with better ways of managing their attention span and lets them be engaged in the world in a non-digital way, which they hope would increase their chances of emotional intelligence. I guess you can put it that way. So what was it? The Waldorf education system, I think. They don't let kids use PCs and smartphones unless they're like in high school or something like that. In middle school, they have like limited use. Like even at home, they tell the parents to be like, okay, don't give them smartphones. That's what they do. And I kind of like that, honestly. I guess I would also do that if we had a childling at the Deep Blue. I think because there has been studies that have proven that certain electronic medias can have the tendency to kind of negatively affect the brain development of younger kids, especially when they're still in a development sort of stage, when their brain is still growing. And electronic media can affect their attention span and how they engage with the world around them. Asher, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. EQ? Yes, emotional intelligence, aka EQ. That's what I said, right? They've already decided what they value. You can argue logic to them all they want. It will go in one ear and out the other way because they don't want to learn or change. Yes, that's exactly it. So I think being wise is partially being able to identify when someone is actually arguing based on values and not based off of the topic at hand. If you get used to like being able to identify that, you can save yourself a lot of sanity. People will use their values to find irrelevant things loosely connected to the topic or evidence at hand in order to discredit it. And it's too much effort to try to convince them at that point. Yeah. I'd like to say that this was a video I wanted to talk about, but... And actually, never mind. I haven't given a full round of thought of that video topic, but I wanted to make something along the lines of... TLDR, the subtle art of not giving a fuck. I know that's a book, but I think it's a nice way to lead life. To kind of just care about the things that are within your control and not care about the things that are not really in your control. I want to make a video about that. The subtle fuck is a rogue. As a kid, didn't want to make it. Okay, wait, I'm catching up with chat. What is something that you believe is common sense nowadays that will be viewed as a silly or ridiculous belief in the future? Shit, I don't know. What is common sense? The thing is, I've never had this notion of whether something is common sense or not. Because I just feel like common sense doesn't make sense when people come from different cultures and different familial backgrounds and different personal experiences. So usually I don't really have a set of common sense. Yeah. Usually when someone fucks up and when other people think it's common sense, my line of thinking is that maybe I'm too much of a fucking benevolent god. Maybe that's why I'm a graceful god after all. I'm very merciful. So maybe this is how I think, and you know, it's an act of mercy perhaps. But how I think of it when someone fucks up or like when someone does something out of the ordinary, I just be like, hey, maybe they just never experienced this thing before, thus they don't know how to react to it. Or maybe they just, something's happening at home or something like that. You know, I always have like the benefit of the doubt thing. So in general, I don't think I have like these set of common sense things in my head. Shadow, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Cocomelon actually makes infants sleeper agents and kills their attention span? I've never watched a single thing of Cocomelon. I do know that the fucking shark doo-doo song is fucking annoying. I would think that that does something to the fucking brain. Bloody hells. Baby shark doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. That song, I remember there was this mall I used to frequent because I used to visit there a lot for eating and going to the gym. And for this whole fucking week, they had an event which just led them to playing Baby Shark 24/7 on loop. Can you imagine what that does to a person? So every time I visit it, whenever I go to the mall to eat lunch or dinner, or like when I go there to do some chores, or like to buy groceries, or like to go to the gym, Baby Shark was on for the whole fucking week for 24/7. It was disgusting. I'm pretty sure it does something to a developing child's brain because I'm pretty sure it did something to me. What's common sense for me nowadays is be logical and read the room. Yeah, I don't know. I can't comment on the common sense thing because I don't even have a set of common sense, a list of common sense stuff off the top of my head. Be respectful of local culture where you... Oh, okay. Here's one common sense thing, I feel like. I think when you're new in some sort of a new social situation, like you're joining this new community and you're the odd one out, you're new to this community, I think it's common sense to be humble. Yeah, I think it's common sense to be humble and observe first and not like kind of insert yourself forcefully into the group of people, if that makes sense. But yeah, to be fair, I've only learned that because I've done that and I've learned from my mistakes. So is it really common? No, not really. It's only common now because I've done the mistake of that. Not. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. She knows since her son got a speech impediment, some people called her the cure to Cocomelon kids? Wait, what are you guys talking about? Oh, I bumped into a video praising this YouTube channel meant for kids today, ran by some lady named Miss Rachel. Her vids teaches kids words and how to say them, which helped. I've heard about that too, and I think I saw this tweet talking about this particular YouTube channel that talks in a certain way with a certain cadence and intonation that keeps kids engaged. Like certain inflections in the tone and everything like that, which is interesting. I hope I get to learn that when we get childlings at the Deep Blue. I wonder if it's the same person. Maybe it's the same person, Daddy Corn. There's a game with Baby Shark. All the minigame soundtrack was slightly variations of the song. Oh my god, that sounds like a nightmare on loop. Bloody hells. Hey Noira, you like music? Of course I like music. Against the Geneva Convention. If you feel like you have to force yourself into social scenarios like that, it isn't worth it. That's what I think too. You know, on my recent video, one of my recent video, where I talked about how... Wait, which one was it? It was literally the most recent video. Alright, embracing life's adventures again, which is basically me telling a story about how I decided to take action in making my life a little bit more exciting again, because I wasn't happy with my monotonous pacing of life. That's basically what the video is about. And I was just saying how I decided, because I felt like my group of friends, my circle of friends was thinning and everyone was getting busy with their own things, I decided to take it into my own hand to find new friends and talk to more strangers and find new people to talk to. So I did exactly that, and that led to many nice things. And there's a whole video of it on YouTube, guys, 5 minutes long. You guys can watch it. But yeah, that's a TLDR. And there was this guy who commented on that video, which I didn't reply to because I've learned my lesson, and since there's a reason I don't really reply to YouTube comments. I've gone down. It's so easy to get misinterpreted on YouTube comments, and I'd rather not have like a fucking 20 comments long thread of just miscommunication and semantics. Anyway, that's off topic. But this guy actually, on that video that was like everything that was positive, I feel like, this guy commented about how, oh, I stopped caring once I realized that nobody cared. I stopped doing it once I realized that nobody cared, he said. And I'm like, nobody cared about what? I don't understand. Like, nobody, you mean nobody cared about you wanting to be friends? Or, I did not understand that comment at all. But, okay, what do you guys think? When he says that I stopped doing it when I realized that nobody cared on such a video, in what context would he mean that? What do you guys reckon? Because I don't know if I'm just the one misunderstanding it or if there's like some missing context. Maybe you guys have a better idea. Nobody cared about him. Oh, perhaps. But even if, what was the video title? Comments like that usually just answers the title. The video title was Embracing Life's Adventures Again. Which is, wait, what do you mean? Like, even if, because I thought that too. Was he answering the title? Because even if he was answering the title, it didn't make sense. Like, so what if nobody cared about you embracing your life's adventures again? It's a you thing, not anyone else's, right? Nobody cares for him. Okay, so let's assume it's any one of that. It doesn't make sense to me. Because, like, nobody cared about him. But then, what's stopping you from taking your own actions and meeting other people who can potentially care? Like, if people don't care about you doing your own thing, then find other people. That's how it is in my head. But like, I also always have this benefit of the doubt thing going on, where I'm like, you know, maybe he's been through some traumatic shit. So he cannot see that sort of perspective. Maybe it's because I'm just an optimistic, hopeful bitch. Perhaps. That's what I thought. But that's, it didn't make sense to me, because to me, these sort of things that you do for your own life and the betterment of your own well-being, why does it need other people caring about it? It's you doing it for yourself. It's you taking action for yourself. I don't think other people have a hand in that. Right? Am I not seeing something? No, I'm truly trying to understand and trying to, I guess, what you would call as checking for blind spots. I like doing these sort of things, even when it comes to work. When I have an opinion, I'd be like, okay, did I miss anything? Do you guys have other opinions? Because I like to check for my blind spots. So yes, I'm doing this with you guys right now. Did I miss any certain perspective that I'm not seeing? Could be anything really that talks more about a research of attention through his action rather than having clear purpose with it. Could be that talks more about a research of attention through his action rather than having a clear purpose for the action he takes. People you're trying to make connections with don't care enough to reciprocate that. Find other people in your life instead. I think people only see him when he is masking from society, but clearly he hopes there are people who want to push themselves to understand him deeper. Isn't that a bit Yeah, maybe in that sense, he's kind of like expecting people to pay attention to him, which to me at least doesn't make sense, but I understand the perspective. Especially, right? Coming from someone who used to be obsessed with shoujo manga and stuff like that, you kind of end up having this expectation that, oh, people around me will love me, and then if they love me, they will do nice things for me. But growing up and becoming a little wiser and having lived in reality much longer, at least for me, I've come to a point where I'm like, I don't expect things out of people at all. I do things genuinely without expecting anything. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then I move on. Call it freewheeling, call it nonchalant. But I guess, yeah, that's how I've lived my life. I think people, oh yeah, you know what? I love giving my fat kitties tummy rubs. Who doesn't though? Sounds kind of self-defeating, self-pity, inferiority complex, or more like almost a protagonist sort of syndrome, or like you want to get saved sort of syndrome, which I think is kind of unrealistic. It's like the idea of, oh yeah, just be yourself and people should love you for who you are sort of mentality, which isn't particularly right, because if you're a shit person, then people literally, who are you to expect people to love you even when you're a shitty person? You get what I mean? To expect people to reciprocate and be nice to you, that means that you need to be nice to them. You know, you need to be genuine to them. And it's like an exchange sort of thing. People aren't NPCs and you're not a protagonist. I think there's also a humility aspect in it, I guess, from my perspective at least. Sometimes people want to find deeper attention than others. It's a side complex that we never understand. Speaking of manga, have you read JoJo's Bizarre Married Life? I have never read a single JoJo. JoJo doesn't make sense to me, unfortunately. It's more like personal or one-to-one mentality. What do you mean by personal or one-to-one mentality? Radio Demon, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. You just learn to not expect anything. If nothing comes, you're right. And if something does come, you're pleasantly surprised. Yeah, that's how I lead life in general, I feel like. Homeland mentality. Expect people to love him despite his attitude. An egoist cannot expect to be the focus of others, as they only focus on themselves. But I mean, technically, when I say that, okay, I do things the way that I want to, without expecting much of other people, in a sense, you can argue that that's being selfish, right? I just do whatever the fuck I want. But I do it in a way where I'm comfortable with it, meaning I have peace of mind in the way that I do things. And thankfully, that peace of mind is me treating people nicely, at least I'd like to think. Nicely and genuinely. If shit happens, then great. If shit happens, then fuck. Well, it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. It is what it is sort of mentality. You can argue that that's the most selfish form of it, right? Siloquin, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. I see, personally, my purpose is my peace of mind. So I do have the expectation of whomever I interact with not taking that away from me. But other than that, I'm pretty flexible. Got my own flaws that I use for my own interest, and also qualities that I use with the purpose of being for somebody else and try to keep them balanced. And I do expect people to do the same so that we can see if we can manage a connection. I don't know. I guess I'm more nonchalant in that sense. Like, even if I'm nice to people, or I really don't expect things out of people, you know? I really don't. Even if I'm nice to them, or even if I help them out, I do it because I want to. And I do it because I like doing it, you know? And if I happen to meet people who I don't vibe with, then I just don't bother. It's like, thank you, next, or it is what it is. We're not meant to vibe with everyone, right? Oh my god, it's Shekai. Hello there, Bull Shark. How are you? If I remember correctly, the very first Noira video that was recommended on my homepage had this exact background. Oh, really? Which one was that? I think I rarely use this background, to be fair. I think I've only used it like once on stream, once for membership stream, and I think for videos maybe twice or something. Yes, the bull shark is here. I am good. Is it morning time for you right now, Shekai? I don't love or like myself the way I am, so I need outside validation for someone else before I even make the attempt to change. That's fair. So it's more of an insecurity thing that's propelling him to be like, okay, I don't like this part about myself, but people should love me, so where the fuck is the love? Sort of vibe, is it? Oh, 6 p.m. 6 p.m, I see. Have you had dinner yet? Use this background a few times in your topical videos. Really? I don't even remember, Ninja. My memory is that bad. Video about living authentically. Oh my god, I could use a kebab. I could use a falafel roll. Oh, it's been a while since I last had falafel. Same as here in IKEA land. Is that EU time right now? Like 6 p.m? I kind of tend to end things, no hard feelings, now that I think about it. Yeah, honestly, ever since I've kind of learned to not take things personally. Like, for example, especially when it comes to work, or like basically just small things. Ever since I've learned to not take things personally in general when it comes to life and interacting with people, man, I've had so much peace in my life. But yeah, I hope that for that person who I guess I can't fully relate with, the person who commented that I stopped doing it once people stopped caring, which did not make full sense to me. I hope that person eventually figures shit out. You know, I do think that with some sort of people, look, there's a reason I don't argue against these people who have that sort of mentality or that sort of point of view. Or like there was another comment that I'm not like taking I'm not shading on any of these comments, by the way. I think they're all valid comments, but I'm just saying that I don't interact with them. So one is that I stopped doing it once I stopped caring. The other one is I want to meet new people, but I'm afraid to open my heart to new people or something like that. Like, I think people with that sort of thought process, there's nothing I can do about that. You get what I mean? Like, it is not... I have a point that I make in my video, a perspective that I want to put out. And if it doesn't resonate with them because of those sort of reasons, I don't think it's in my place to kind of fight them and be like, no, listen to me, I'm your mom sort of shit. Because that kind of stuff is like something you need to resolve with either yourself or your therapist. That's why with everything that I do, it's mostly, I always say that it's from my perspective and I try not to force it onto other people. You never know, man, what's going on with themselves and what they're going through. You can open your heart to me, Noira. Well, aren't you being a little bit parasocial then, Etiquette? That's kind of real. Opening yourself is scary. Yourself up is scary, but necessary to a degree. Yeah, but understanding that is something that's more of an intrinsic sort of thing, right? It's not something that you can have someone tell you and beat into you. Beat into you? You get what I mean though, right? You can't waterboard them and be like, open yourself to more people. No, you can't do that shit. And I think it's something that comes with time, perhaps. You don't know what they've been through. Time and experience. If you want to meet new people but are afraid of getting your heart hurt, that's just something that you have to accept as a risk. So I do understand what they're doing, what they're going through. Yeah, right? And I think I'm in no position to convince them otherwise. Because even if you debate with them about why they should open their heart to other people, like be like, you know, with how maths work and probability works, like out of 100 people you meet, maybe less than 10% will hurt you. In that sort of sense, it makes logical sense for you to actually try and meet other people. Even if you argue against them with logic and everything like that, it will do nothing, because they're coming from a place that's either some traumatic experience or rooted in values. I feel like, yeah. So you can't. Waterboarding is bad therapy. It's good baptism though. No. There's no baptizing at the Deep Blue. None. But you may offer whiskey to the shrine though. That's always open. Whiskey, Chianti, dark beer. Yes, please. You can end up opening yourself up too much and putting people off you. For me, it took me a while to start opening to people after being in an abusive relationship. So don't judge people that have difficulty opening up. You don't know what they've been through. Definitely. I think so. I think mental conditions, mental blockers, mental conditions, traumatic experiences, and values are like things you really can't unpack unless in an intimate setting. Yeah. Thus, it's something that you should be either figuring out with probably your therapist or yourself, I guess. Waterboarding is bad punishment. I can voice on that from experience. But have you ever been waterboarded by seawater? Have you? There's a thin line between pleasure and pain. There's a reason that choking is a thing. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry. I just had to. Are you offering? No. I'm not that parasocial. I'm not going to start waterboarding my viewers. That's some parasocial shit to do. To be honest, learning to open up something that comes with time, in my experience at least. In the past 5 years, I've gone from terrified of people to being actively social, and a lot of that is just time. And we are all here proud of you at the Deep Blue. It's not an easy feat, but the fact you've gotten over it, you've come a long way. Not just seawater, but waterboarded by a sea fox from seawater. Yeah, nah, this is say so? No. You think coming to the Deep Blue is say so? Well, you are mighty wrong. I mean, look, I choose to not talk about like horny stuff too much and stuff like that because I prefer talking about these sort of things, you know, having conversations that are more thoughtful in a sense, or like life talks. That's my favorite thing to talk about. That's why we don't talk about like such other things like horny stuff and kinks and shit. It's mostly a matter of preference, but it doesn't mean that I refuse to talk about it. Gotta go on my end, have work tasks to start on. As always, was lovely yapping and chilling with everyone. And Peter, it was always lovely to have you here at the Deep Blue. Thank you for dropping by. And hey, I hope that your way to work has less traffic. With all that you've offered to the shrine, I can at least wish you that you will have less traffic on your way to work. Thank you, Peter. The main sexy stuff in the Deep Blue are Noira's models and Onesan voice mixed with emotional maturity. That's actually so hot. I mean, you know, I'm kind of hoping that one day I get a lot of like dojins. I hope that one day the Deep Blue grows enough that I get dojin and like R34 NSFW fan art. Man, that'll be a grand time. I'd be quite happy. That's how you know you've made it. Like, do you see how much R18 and dojin there is of like Botan and Hosho Marine and stuff like that? Hopefully one day. I understand why some people have issues opening up, but I can't relate to people who are completely controlled by their past. Yeah, that's me too. I think that's mostly how it is for people who are more hopeful and optimist in nature, me included. I think I'm quite a hopeful and optimist sort of person who likes solving my problems because I find the process of problem solving quite fun. So it's quite an interesting combination. That's why I make the videos that I make. But it's totally understandable if people who aren't like that as much have a hard time getting over that past, I guess. You're not wrong. I remember some VTuber mentioned that a game is good based on the amount of AO3 fix on it. Oh my god, to have AO3 fanfiction of me, that'd be the dream. With your approval, I could allocate certain Deep Blue funds to invest in Noira. No, please, use your finances wisely at the Deep Blue, okay? Use it wisely. Hi there, Bantag. Use it wisely. Yeah, maybe. One day, perhaps. One day, the Deep Blue grows enough to the point that we get to have very extra content. Wouldn't that be nice? And maybe, I think it's within the VTuber success trajectory that you suddenly have like a virus account on Twitter, like a Noira virus account. And then you have posts about you on the subreddit. And what else? What else is on the VTuber succession trajectory? You guys, I feel like, would know more than me. What else kind of shows that, okay, this VTuber is kind of successful? What do you guys reckon? Thank you for the hydrate. And Bantag, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. This is great background noise for drawing and drinking iced coffee too, by the way. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it, and I'm glad you enjoy your stay here. Live 3D concert? Oh yeah, that's definitely one. I don't know, all I know is drama. You shall not wish drama upon the sea fox of the Deep Blue. Makeshift plush? Oh, that'd be nice. New models? Do you want to know my honest opinion about like getting new models? Like when it's summer and then you suddenly get like a new summer model for the year. I feel like it's too excessive, and it's... Surely there are better uses of funds. Better uses of funds. At least that's what I think right now. Models are fucking expensive, dude. This is also a nice place to smoke, virtually. Yes. I don't have a smoking toggle. Thank you. I'm glad you like the yaps, Bantag. Is that Neurosummer emotes? That's so cute. VTuber success is everyone having fun. Definitely. And I think the community says a lot about a VTuber success, right? If you make it into one of those VTuber memes or out of context VTuber clips, but choose right too. I've actually made it into an out of context VTuber clip. Like VTuber's out of context montage. One of them. I'm actually in one of them. It's crazy. I have no idea. You're the first one VTuber I've ever watched live. Seriously? I'm your first VTuber experience? So tell me, what's your impression on VTubers now that you've come upon me? I'm curious. Oh, live! I see. Yeah, okay. So you watch clips and stuff like that. That's fair. A VTuber is successful when you come and buy a Daki with them on it. Oh yeah, Daki Bakura. And like acrylic standees for sure. Or maybe also energy drinks of them, right? I don't understand VTubers that get a lot of outfits. It feels like some of the really cute outfits get shoved aside for newer ones and never really get used again. Because like in my head, I feel like the default outfit would always be the main one. For example, even if I get like other outfits, this outfit would always be my main one, and I will still use this outfit the most. I may sometimes use other outfits when I feel like it, or for certain scenes or vibes, but this will still be my main outfit. I don't really understand VTubers who constantly make new models and new costumes, but that's a me thing, I feel like. But then again, do know that I did not come from a VTuber familiar. I did not come into VTubing being familiar with VTubing. Did you make your model? No, I didn't. I have my model mama and papa, the people who made the model art and the people who rigged my model. I already stated my thoughts in a shout out I did for you a while back, and we'll ping it in the wall once more. Thank you, Dash. Thank you for doing a shout out like that. As an aspiring VTuber, I know way less than I should. Dude, I knew nothing about VTubing when I got into VTubing. Honestly, Ren, you don't really have to know much about VTubing getting into it. What matters is that you need to understand that VTubing is a medium. It's content creation, but you're not showing your face. You're showing an avatar instead. That's what VTubing is. So at its core, VTubing is just about your content, I guess. If you want to make YouTube videos, what sort of videos do you want to make? If you're looking into streaming, then what sort of streams do you want to make? It's just that. And hello, Ray. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Got your own outfits for the occasion and you have your own casual wear at home. I think so, yeah. It's sort of like a self-extension in a way. That's why some VTubers kind of have a lot of outfits, because they can... It's kind of like their self-identity, I guess, their model. Maybe I don't relate to that as much, because I see my VTuber model more as like an aesthetic thing rather than, oh, it's an extension of myself. Sure, to a certain extent, but maybe not as much to other people. My other line of logic is also perhaps they're finding reasons to do a debut and stir up hype. Like they're using new models and new costumes as a marketing tool, which is understandable, but it's a very big investment for a marketing tool, isn't it? So personally, it's not something I do. It's not that far off an opinion though, even if you may be new to the VTuber scene. I've been watching VTubers since 2018 and still agree with you. The culture escapes me, but I like making people laugh and want me a pretty model, so it seems like the way to go. Yeah, why not? I mean, if you can do it, and if it's something that you're curious about and you're gonna regret not ever having tried it, then try it, dude. As long as you know, as the adults that we are, actions have consequences, and consequences sometimes have permanence, accountability, and shit like that. As long as that's with every decision you make in life, right? And you're an adult, accountability in decision making and showing up for consequences and shit. I honestly kind of prefer VTubers not too familiar with the culture. Their content and vibe is different. How so? I'm curious. That definitely not surprised me. There is a business side to it. Spend money to make money. Yeah, have a good one, Decatonics. Thank you for lurking. Yeah, but I just feel like for the amount of hype that's generated from it... No, sorry. As a marketing tool, it's a little bit too... It feels like it's a little bit too excessive or too expensive. And it doesn't make sense from a sustainability, business sustainability sort of perspective. Like, what's stopping you from doing a marketing campaign instead of actually investing in a new product, which is a new VTuber model, and marketing that? Wouldn't it be more sustainable to keep a single visual branding and then make a marketing campaign or promotional campaign surrounding that? It would probably cost less too. But sorry, that was like my business side speaking. Elder Dragonite, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. Do you think VTubers will become the future of content? Yes, I do. I really do think so. Because if we're talking about it objectively, the world is becoming only more digital. So it makes sense that the virtual world will only become more popular. So yes, I do think that VTubing is the future. And my opinion is also that a lot of VTubers are not challenging the boundaries of VTubing as much as they could. But also, it's not on them to do that, for sure. But for me, for example, I hope this isn't... My general tendency is that I watch VTubers if I want something funny and unhinged to laugh to. It's more of like haha funny sort of entertainment. That is when I watch VTuber clips. Other than that, I don't really watch VTubers. Do you get what I mean? I feel like VTubers can do so much more than just be funny. Entertainment, of course, is a huge aspect of content in any way. But for VTubers to only be in the segment of being funny, unhinged, and playing games, I feel like they could do so much more. Some individuals, it may just be who I've watched, but when you're deep in, you tend to absorb what others do and try to emulate that rather than just do what you want. Like following trends feels slightly less genuine. I think I kind of get what you mean. Some individuals do entertainment for profits, others do it for fun. And both sides are okay, I feel like. As long as I think you don't hurt anyone along the way. VTubers on average have a much more interesting personality and takes overall when compared to IRL Andy, even though they are much more mainstream now. That is definitely true as well, because when you don't have... It's like how when you're on the internet, you have virtual anonymity and virtual distance in a sort of way. So definitely you have quote unquote less risks in expressing yourself. Thus, you can understand why it would bring out more interesting sides, takes, and creativity out of people when it comes to VTubing. As for interesting personalities overall compared to IRL, for me though, why I like VTubers as well is because I like people... I like when things look really nice 24/7. And, with IRL people, sometimes there are certain angles that don't look so nice. This is a me thing. I'm a very aesthetic and visual person. So with VTubers, it's nice because whatever the fuck they do, they'll still look aesthetic as hell. That's a me thing. VTubers will absolutely become more and more mainstream. We're witnessing a golden era where VTubers are on a positive rise right now. Yeah, I think so too. Well, there are VTubers who talk about topics outside of that, which also fall outside what is acceptable to talk about in the deep blue. Oh yes, I know. But, as of right now, with other things that do not involve me wanting to find something funny and gaming, I still resort to non-VTuber content. Like vlogs, when we're talking about travel or aesthetic stuff, I still go with IRL vloggers. Or like when I want something that's more, more thoughtful and stuff, like Veritasium and everything like that, I seek more IRL content creator stuff, of course. Mayhaps a part of it is because I haven't found any VTubers who have that sort of content that I want, but probably also because the ones that I find are just easily more discoverable, I guess, for that topic. That's kind of the thing for me. Oh, at first it was the same for me, but now there is such a wild pool of VTubers you'd find content for almost any taste. Any taste, yeah, but like for topics, I know that there are some VTubers who are educational, who do physics and everything like that, and teach physics on stream and everything. But that's not the sort of content I want. The sort of content I want is like Veritasium, where they take a certain curiosity and then they unpack it into a nice structured video, and they interview the relevant intellectuals and everything, and the thought leaders for that sort of topic. That's the stuff I like thinking about. That's mostly the stuff that I watch, actually. And I haven't really found any VTubers doing that, so I've resorted to IRL people. I've actually seen some VTubers push such boundaries. They exist if you look it up. Oh yeah, definitely. There are some VTubers who push those boundaries, but I still feel like, from my personal observation, that more VTubers, the majority of VTubers, still stay within the haha funny gaming sort of segment. I guess in a sort of way, I kind of want to see more VTubers branching out into other ways of making content. But it's not like I'm trying to spearhead some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Initiative. No. It's just I think it'd be a fun thing to observe if that happens. I've never understood that. People often complain about how they look in a non-flattering manner. For me, I'm just happy to be in company with someone I enjoy, regardless of how I look. Yeah. No. When it comes to like interacting with people, I don't mind it. But when it comes to like presented content, I really prefer my content to look certain ways. Okay, the whole looks thing, I guess it doesn't really matter when it comes to, like, say, YouTube videos. It matters more when it comes to streaming, I feel like. That's why when it comes to streaming, I only exclusively watch VTubers. I don't know why, dude. But I just really like how VTubers look compared to IRL streamers. I like pixels, bro. One of the things I like about your streams is that your streaming times fit me quite well. Many of the US-based streams at times that make me partially question my sanity. Yeah, it's a give and take sort of thing, right? A lot of people say that, especially if you live around the EU and Asia, that my streaming times are nice. But for the US side of people, they're like, oh my god, Noira, why do you stream at these times? Other than you, Noira, I've seen very few VTubers who do more philosophical stuff. Only like one other, but yeah, probably discoverability. Yeah, I think so too. I do know that there are some philosophical VTubers. And I know of some of them, but even I've seen them more like. I haven't really checked their content, but I know they're out there. But the thing is, I think when it comes to offline content like YouTube videos, I watch it for the content and not really the medium, I guess. If it looks nice, if it's structured well, if it has good value to me, then I will watch it, regardless if VTuber or not. It's only different for me when it comes to streams. I prefer VTuber streams over real people. I just like the vibe here. I'm glad you do. I'm more of around for the vibes and talking. I'm so glad the algorithm led me to you, and I'm so glad that the algorithm led you to me. Have a good one, Zolty, and good luck with your meeting. I also didn't like how VTubers as a whole were being branded as bad or terrible by normies. Yeah, that's just a weird thing. I also don't understand that. I don't know. I think it's because VTubers, the popular clips of VTubers tend to be very unhinged things, and that's what the normies see, and that's why their first impressions of VTubers is like weird. I feel like that's probably how it went down. Or also, it's more like, new thing that I'm not familiar with. It's probably cringe, haha, lol, let's laugh with it with everyone else. Laugh about it with everyone else, because if I don't laugh about it, they're gonna think I'm weird. You know, that sort of like, that sort of vibe. Forgot her name, but I stumbled across a philosophical VTuber another day. Yeah, I think there are a few, to be honest. Things will change. Even YouTube's popular people have changed in both who they are and how the others behave. As an artist, I enjoy seeing different art styles in models. That's probably my favorite thing about VTubers. Oh, VTubers, yeah, definitely. The way models move is just, and the way models look, so beautiful. I love the time you stream, even though it's in the very AM for you, Jackson. I work the night shift with crappy days off. Your times are perfect for me. Oh, that's why we have so many people who do night shifts here at the Deep Blue. I now understand. The main thing that makes you stand out is your variety between haha 69 funny number and okay chat, time for deep conversation. A combo I rarely see other bigger VTubers do. And I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad because I feel like it's not as if I do it deliberately. You know what I mean? When it comes to streams, at least. And it's actually how it went down is because I noticed that you guys like these sort of conversations on streams, that I started to make them into YouTube videos. So it's more of like a happenstance, came across it sort of thing. So thank you guys for helping me kind of figure that out, I guess. Are you British? No, I'm not. I've seen people reduce VTubers to haha big booby anime women, and it's so much more than that. It drives me mad. Yeah, but these people also, I feel like, you know, it's like I said, it's probably like a values sort of thing, that where it's zero use in arguing against them or debating with them about it, because they're never gonna listen anyway. I generally try to watch vids on criticism against VTubers, and for the most part, it's either surface level impressions of chaotic moments, clips taken out of context. Yeah, I think these people who are hating on VTubers mostly are doing it because of peer pressure, or I think it's mostly because of peer pressure. It's definitely not because of logic, because if you break it down by logic, it doesn't make sense to hate on VTubers. Maybe values too. Maybe one of their values is being able to have genuine connection and see people face to face. Maybe that's a top value for them. So thus not having a person's face is like carnal sin to them. That's the only other thing that I can think of. Maybe. And you know, when what you're pitting against is their personal values, there's not really much you can say to them. Nothing you say will make them listen. Elder Dragon Knight, Angie Hot Dog, Womp Womp, and Cho Juan, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. The internet has kind of cultivated a push towards shock value being shared for engagement. Thus, any shock value with VTubers gets shared more frequently. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Now you can tell they've never stayed for a full stream or engaged with a VTuber community before. But I mean, what can we do to kind of slowly ease them into it and perhaps have a chance of changing their minds? Honestly, I think nothing except time. What do you guys reckon? I really don't think like those sort of people you can change their minds. I think it just either has to be their own personal experience and time. How are you, Angie Hot Dog? Everyone used to hate anime, but now everyone watches it. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a fair comparison. It's in the AM here. I just wake up early enough to catch its streams. Thank you for waking up and catching it. Philosophy, I'll stick to with my Dungeons and Dragons VTubers. And that's up to you. It's a preference, right? I mean, I always argue that what I talk about is not philosophy, but hey, if you guys say it's philosophy, then it is philosophy. I just like talking about life, and apparently that's philosophy. I only discovered that after the fact of doing vtubing. And thank you for the time check. It allows me to wake up early, reset my schedule for the day, and also allow Otis to enjoy his TV time. Otis is the cutest. Specifically for Twitch, I started boosting the follow numbers of VTubers because of Twitch moderation having double standards. VTuber models show too much skin, and it's a severe punishment when popular Twitch flesh tubers violate TOS often and get a slap on the wrist. Yeah, the duality of that is questionable, honestly. It is very questionable. I kind of feel that VTubing falls into the same category for general populace as cringe anime. Unfortunately, it's a stigma that has to be combated. Yeah, but is it really something that you can combat? Or is it just like a natural thing that you just gotta let go and let time do its thing with? Hi, Prairie Butcher. Yes, we are drinking. Actually, I ran out of whiskey. One of y'all, go fetch me whiskey now, would you? Normies hating on VTubers is the same thing when they say, this is why I fucking hate video games. Caters to the male fantasy, but they sim for normie stuff like Twilight. Yeah, it's just... Yeah. See, when I say that there are some... You need to be able to identify certain things that you just can't argue against or make any case against because they won't fucking listen. I feel like this is one of them. As someone who didn't like VTubers for a while... Sorry, I'm still catching up with chat, so I might skip a few. Prior to discovering the Deep Blue, I didn't care for reaction content or the almost samey gremly personality, but I came around to the culture when you get past the mainstream ones. That's fair. That's fair. I also, when I looked up VTubing, I also had like my own reservations about it because all I wanted was like, okay, I want to stream with not my face. I used, back then before VTubing was a thing, I used to stream with a PNG. Because at some points I just got tired of showing my face, and I did that like what 7 years ago, 7 years ago, and I didn't know that was VTubing back then because VTubing wasn't a thing just yet. So I just wanted to do that, and I discovered when I wanted to get back into streaming and content creation that, hey, VTubing is a thing now. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll be a VTuber. That's my origins, okay, as a content creator, as a streamer. So I decided to do my little research about VTubers, and I found them very funny. But alas, I wanted to do something that wasn't just funny. So thus now we have how the Deep Blue is right now. Puffy Lake, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. I do hope that new VTubers and new VTubers eventually realize that VTubing is a medium and there are many ways to go about it. And I hope that they don't get kind of what's the word? Boxed into the expectations that, oh haha, they should only be gaming, grimly, funny, haha, hee hee, sort of VTuber. I hope that these VTubers, new or old, eventually realize that, oh, there's so much I can do with VTubing. There's so much I can do with content creation. That's why I like Don't Check One, because we do that. Adding hot tubs was a massive fail for Twitch. Oh man, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Look, I came from one of the reasons I stopped doing IRL streaming was because I felt like I got the wrong kind of attention that I didn't like. When I used to IRL stream, I really appreciated when people actually follow me and watch me and like my content because of the things that I talk about. And mostly the things that I talk about, because even since back then I would talk about these things, but not as often as I do now. It felt like I feel like I feel like if they can appreciate that, it means a lot to me. When people appreciate the things that I talk about and the interesting discussions I ask or engage in, I feel like that's so valuable to me and I appreciate it a lot. Back then when I IRL streamed, I feel like I wasn't appreciated for that, which mayhaps be partially my fault because I didn't like talk about it as much. But back then I didn't have the vocabulary to kind of navigate through that experience of like, oh, I want them to kind of like me for the things that I talk about, you know, the thoughtful things that I have in my head, but at the same time I wasn't really showing much of it, so it was partially on me, but I didn't realize that back then. And yeah, that's why me coming into VTubing, it's more of focusing on that. Sure, aesthetics is part of it because I have a certain aesthetic that I want to chase and a certain vibe I want to chase personally. But for me, showing skin is not a priority, nor is being having a focus on horny stuff. That's not a priority for me. If it's a priority for some other people and they like that and they appreciate being appreciated for that, then it's fine, right? But it's not for me. And I hope that, I guess, people, content creators and VTubers coming into content creation, I hope that they don't have this way of thinking where I need to show skin to get a following sort of thinking, you know. But then again, it really depends. Because some people, if you're trying to make money out of streaming and you're trying to basically get rich quick sort of thing, you would be willing to default to the easier, I would say easier, you would be willing to default to compromising your values and principles in order to get that objective. And if it means showing more skin and being more horny with your jokes, they might do it. And then they might get burnt out later on. But that's not for me to say. I just hope that, I hope it doesn't become a general conception that you need to show skin as a VTuber. Lure him in with the model, hit him with the chill vibes and live talk. Well, I guess my hook and sinker worked well, huh? Sinker and hook, hook and sinker? Am I saying that right? Come for the eye candy, stay for the conversation. Literally like Sadaway. She became a VTuber because she wanted people to appreciate her personality and her artwork instead since people kept focusing on how good she looks. Yeah. But also, I'm not like saying that one is better than the other. All I'm saying is that I hope that people coming into VTubing and content creation don't get boxed into the fact that, oh, you gotta be showing skin to get rich quick. But if they want to, I think it's not my place to judge. And I only care for, I like being in my own lane, and I only care for my own lane. I do my own thing. It's not my place. I may have opinions about this and that, but I will never judge. Hello, Aman guy. Hear me out. You guys remember Tanya the Evil, right? Wasn't that an anime? Imagine if Tanya was in prison and met with male characters and both of them planned to get out of prison. What about it? Also, I don't think I've watched Tanya the Evil. Exactly, VTubing sort of allows you to set the theme and aesthetic for the content, whereas in IRL you kind of don't have that option to begin with. Yeah, definitely. I feel like VTubing is such a creative medium. You can make, like, look at this. I'm constantly forever in this afternoon sunset sort of vibe with lo-fi music and amazing golden hour glow. I'm able to do this because I'm a VTuber. To be able to set these sort of vibes and these sort of visuals. IRL would be much harder to pull off. And I love this. If you guys haven't noticed, I love being able to pull off these sort of aesthetics and vibes. Hook, line, and sinker. Thank you, Farhan. At the very least, I did come here by recommendations by a random YouTuber that your channel was different than a usual VTuber. A recommendation by a YouTuber? Who? What the heck? Who the hell recommended me? The only skin I need to see is a stuff in your hand when we're participating in an epic high five. Wow, that's so wholesome. That's so say-so and wholesome. I don't think it will ever be anything else than a personal matter, whether you show skin or not. Yeah, I mean, because I think some people, they express on Twitter mostly about how they be like, oh, those VTubers who show skin, and kind of show a modicum of vitriol towards it. I feel like those people who express those things just have some unpacked feelings that they don't know how to deal with about seeing VTubers who show more skin and are more successful than them. Like, they have these feelings, unsorted feelings, and they just voice out whatever the first thing that pops up in their head is. I'm glad you like the Converse eye again. There's BGM. Wait, have you guys not been hearing the BGM? I've had lo-fi music the whole time. I've had it on the whole time. I'll admit that's what made me click on the thumbnail for this stream, was the look of your avatar, and stuck around because of the good talk. Thank you, Shadow. I'm glad you decided to stay. We scrolled in every tweet, including politics. I mean, politics, I feel like they're always going to be there when it comes to Twitter. But sure, I read them, but I don't engage. And I choose to ignore. I filter out a lot of what I see on social media. Like, at least I feel like nowadays I have the wisdom to be like, oh, I don't give a shit about this thing, so I just scroll past it. You hear it? Oh, okay. You might not hear it if you're perhaps on your phone, I guess. But if you're wearing headset and using speakers, maybe you might hear it. His YouTube channel is called Baufu. He's small and unknown, but Google put it up on my feed. Okay, I'll check Baofu out, but also when you next time visit Baofu's, I hope I'm saying his name right. Their name right. Baofu stream. Please give him my regards and my thanks for recommending me. That's so sweet of him. There were a lot of things that were something a minute ago. Twitter is more direct than any social media. What does that mean? My partner showed me some of your content and I decided to come see for myself. Your partner? I have so many kind people recommending my content. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Daijobu, no yapping is enough of a lo-fi music for me. Thank you, Harry. Anyway, unfortunately, we've ought to go though because I have Pilates tomorrow at 8 a.m. and it is currently 12 at midnight. But thank you so much, everyone, for coming over to the Deep Blue. And I hope you guys had a splendid time here at the Deep Blue. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And we've definitely had very good conversations throughout the past 3 hours that we've been live, haven't we? From a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to recommend this stream to other friends and relatives? I'm becoming like an Uber driver or something. Thank you for the hydrate. I'll drink some water. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of glad you popped up on my YouTube shorts and caught you streaming today. Thanks for the wonderful stream. No, thank you for being here. 5-7. I love that everything is either 5 or anything that's over 5. I appreciate it. 4 depends on the person, but for many, yes, that's fair. That's fair. Thanks for hosting such a chill vibe. Thank you guys. Cheeky Dolphin, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Deep Blue. If you guys like the stream, I'd appreciate it if you drop a follow if you're on Twitch or subscribe if you're on YouTube. And if you haven't already joined our Discord, if you want to hang out with the other titlings and have thoughtful talks and discuss thoughtful things and also celebrate small things, all around good vibes, and also have gaming nights and movie nights, come over to the Deep Blue Discord, noira.gg/ sorry, that's wrong, discord.gg/noira. Oh, here, let me give my Discord link on Twitch side and also YouTube. But yes, you can also go to discord.gg/noira, same thing. I stream 3 times a week. That's on every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Very consistently, I'd like to say. And same day, same time every week. That's at 10 p.m. GMT plus 8 if you're in Southeast Asia. That's at 7 or 9 a.m. if you're in the US without daylight savings. Ooh, can someone tell me until when daylight savings is? So I know till when I need to say that and mention daylight savings. When is it until? And that's around 3 or 4 p.m. in the EU. And I also have a subreddit if that's your kind of thing. If you go to r/Noira, it's a quite an active subreddit. And when the fuck does daylight savings October 26? That's so fucking long. What the hell? I thought it would be like for another month or so. I don't know. I'm like in an area that's unaffected by daylight savings, so you know, it is what it is. Red Roses, thank you for subscribing on YouTube side and also following on Twitch side. Oh, God damn it. So I need to always say daylight savings. Gotcha. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. If it's your first time here, let me reintroduce myself. I am Noira, the Sea Fox Onesan, who serves live talks on the rocks. And if you enjoyed the stream, I hope I get to see you guys at the Deep Blue next week. And on my videos. Because I always have videos for you guys on YouTube side. Yeah. I upload quite a lot, so don't worry. You guys will not even have the chance to miss me because of how much I upload on YouTube. Okay, it's not that much, okay? But I at least like upload like stuff like 3 to 4 times a week. That's something, innit? Alright guys, thank you. Let me find someone to raid on Twitch side. Who shall we raid today? We had really fun talks today, huh? Really chill time. Let us raid into... Dareka. Let's raid into... Let me think. Let me pick. Let's raid into Ray. Ray is currently playing Fantasy Life. I've never gotten the chance ever to raid Ray Lavier. So let's raid into Ray. Raid into Ray. And also, guys, come join in the conversations, the discussion that we're having on Discord. The one that I mentioned about boredom, it's such an interesting discussion, and I want to hear you guys' point of views about it. Seriously, I'm quite excited to read about it. I'm quite invested about it. It's such a nice topic. But yeah, thank you, everyone. I'll see you guys next week. And on Discord. Bye. Have a good one. Sayonara. Thank you, Taglings.